Awesome. Welcome to Doctors and Dungeon Masters. I am Kelly Breivik, the DM.
Did we
I'm
switch it
Ryan.
to D&D and stuff?
I did, actually.
Okay.
I remembered. Sorry.
I'm Ryan House. I am Bogress.
Cool. Hi, I'm Corey Hernai, and I am Franz.
Air Bear Kirsting, Maggie.
Alright. Can we have a recap of what happened last session?
I did it last time, so.
No, it was good.
How do we start?
We were outside the city.
Franz had to go to the DMV for something.
Oh, to send a letter.
And he got stopped by a little dwarf, and
I think that's redundant.
Yeah.
Wait, is she little for a dwarf, or
I don't know, I
say
didn't describe her height. How do you think? Do you think she'd be better off as a little dwarf?
she was a petite dwarf. Okay,
Petite dwarf.
petite dwarf,
From all those Stevens, she has to fit
Yeah.
in smaller
Yeah,
spaces
yeah.
than average.
emaciated probably.
No.
Poor. Yes, and then she hooked us up with a thieves guild that was led by a mimic, I think.
Not a mimic. That
Sorry.
Screech.
Screech.
Who can mimic, but she's not a mimic.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a
Bayside High School.
yeah.
So yeah, we went to What? Somebody help me! I dug myself in a hole.
So we had some interactions with Screech, the Kenku, and traded some spells. Then we started exploring the sewers a little bit. We fought some were-rats who were devouring a were-rat corpse. And then we followed the scratch markings to find the hoard of were-rat treasure, which was protected by 3 more were-rats. And the obstinate ruler of these 4, our leader, I suppose, not ruler, but the leader, refused to try to make a business arrangement with us. And then he violently tried to attack me, so I guiding bolted and murdered his ass with a lot of help from Sneak Attack Boy over here,
Hey.
and you, of course. And then 2 of them kind of like scurried off, and we let them go. But then one was like, "I'd do a job for cheese." So, and now we were bringing him back to the Thieves Guild. The Knock
Yep.
is the name. 5 fingers is yours.
Mine, yeah.
Mhm.
Or 5.
So wait, was the
Yeah.
rat's name Were-Rat? Sorry, got it.
Wallace.
Wallace, okay.
Yep.
Wallace the were-rat.
Yep. Which is named after my rat.
You have a rat?
I have
Oh,
two.
Interestingly,
that's right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
my
you
wife has a pet in our D&D campaign that I DM, and the pet's name is Wallace as well, and it's unrelated.
It's a good pet name. All right, so Wallace is just kind of awkwardly trailing along, his fat, chunky rat tail. Just it's okay. Words are hard. Just sliding along with a little shh sound, which is a little awkward. But so you head back into Knock. Doors open. Everyone's going about their business. So how do you introduce your new friend?
I think we should take him straight to Screech, right? Or maybe the older gentleman that was in charge of defense.
I think we should go to
He's probably really
Dwarf
familiar
lady.
with the.
whose name I will not remember.
Oh, maybe
Ariat.
that's not a bad idea. We can let her figure it out.
Yeah, we should go talk to Ariat.
Yep.
NPC, come do this thing for us.
Okay.
Like, yo, Ariat!
So Ariat walks over, she sees you, she goes, "What the fuck is this?
Rat, what do you think?
Okay, this is Wallace.
They got names now?
Well, this one does.
Wallace is a good guy.
How do you know?
He's
Submitted to our rule.
He's canny to business transactions.
What kind of business?
Well, see, here's what I was thinking. We don't really know the whole layout of these sewers, right?
But we do.
Okay.
Do ya? We didn't know all
didn't
the
really think
layout
that
of the
through, did we?
sewers?
I mean, maybe.
See, Wallace here. Damn it. You got me going into it. Okay, well, Wallace here, he can help out. He can help us map it, and he can help us know where the good places are and the bad places, and where rats are hanging out and stuff. And I think that's a valuable thing to have. And we can pay him, and he doesn't know exactly what he wants.
Who's
You
gonna
figure
pay
out
him,
what
us
you
or
want.
You?
Huh?
Who's gonna pay him, us or you?
Oh,
Oh,
I'll
we'll
pay
pay
him.
I'm not giving him any of my money.
I offered him the transaction,
Mm.
so I can help him.
But that means he works for us. I don't say that out loud. I just think that.
So you think he's gonna turn on his other rat buddies just because you're paying him money?
Well, I don't think he doesn't need to turn on them, right, Wallace? You're just helping us out.
And
Right now.
he's too scared of you guys. He's like, just starts nodding his head like, please don't hurt me.
Wallace, the goal is not for him to go kill rats. I mean, if rats need to die, I can handle that with these guys too. But the goal is just to have some, an ear on the inside.
And Eric kind of looks at Wallace squaring him up. And then she turns to him and she goes, okay, here's the deal. We'll take him in. We'll make use of him. But I want to make it clear, you can't bring people all willy-nilly like this, because this he looks kind of dumb. And she says it a little loud, even though she's trying to be quiet. But Wallace doesn't seem to, even care that he's being called dumb, so long as he's not being murdered.
Very low bar for this guy.
And so she goes, but yeah, you can't bring people here willy-nilly. We kind of have some shit going on.
Okay,
here.
well,
That's
while
why
I would
people-
definitely not argue with Wallace being people, that's certainly true. He's a rat guy. He lives down in the sewers. He used to be a rat. It's a little different than, somebody else.
But I'm not in your head, so I don't know if you're gonna make a habit of bringing people here.
No,
Okay,
I'm not dumb.
but he is. And she starts laughing at her own joke, because I said it. And
Wallace?
I was laughing at my own joke, yeah.
I fervently deny that Wallace is dumb.
Oh, yeah? What's 2 + 2? And then,
Make
Wallace
an
is not
intelligence
sorry.
check, Wallace.
Does he know math? He rolled a 19, and he meekly answers 4. And she goes,
I'm
okay,
just like,
he's smart enough.
Damn!
Alright. So she goes, okay, now what?
Okay, so, Wallace, do you know what you want now?
And he nods his head. Make an insight check.
A good old 6.
He nods his head.
Okay, what is it? Well, that means you don't know what you want. Okay, so,
I think we could assume he would want some feeling of security, some safety, maybe.
I vote for blanket and a nice warm meal.
Sure. Right. All right. Sense of belonging. Maybe.
Okay, you ever had okra?
Take care of us. We'll help
Wait, is
take
that
care
like
of
the
you.
fried veggies?
Yeah,
like...
I'm just joking. Sorry, that I didn't actually say that.
Okra's delicious, and I will
It
fight
is.
anyone who doesn't like it. I say both here and in character.
Okra fans here.
Yeah. I had it for the first time, like a month ago.
Delicious, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Sorry.
So yes, so when you mentioned like food and like a blanket, he's like,
Okay.
and bath. He says quietly to Bog.
Yeah.
Okay, we can arrange that.
I'm not gonna bathe you, though.
So, what we need in exchange for that is maybe some kind of help finding a path, maybe into the city,
Out of the city.
out of the city, into the city. Same difference, right?
Okay, so what we want is we want to be able to get to here where we are now.
Yeah.
And we want to not have to go into the city above. We want to be able to come in to maybe a sewer grate, or I don't know. You would be the one to figure that out. But someplace outside the city that leads to here, that's not too dangerous.
Okay. So at that point, he starts making little grabby hands, and then he's thinking, and he goes, right.
Okay, I don't know if I have any pen and paper on me. Hey, anybody got Screech?
And Screech kind of from her perch up top, because remember she's chilling at the top level. You're probably at the bottom level right here.
Could I have some of that pen and paper you were using?
And Ariel goes, you could have asked me. And she runs upstairs because Screech is queen bitch, so she's not gonna do menial tasks like that.
I was just asking
but,
if I could have some paper.
It's all good. Ariel runs
You're making
into
a fool
the.
of yourself.
She runs into the study and comes back with a quill and some ink and a little parchment of paper, and she hands it to Wallace. And he kind of like very awkwardly, he's not very good, like imagine like a 2-year-old just very scribbly, scratchy, and he's like, he'll dip it in the inkwell and too much will like come out and it'll be a big splotch of stuff. And then he draws a map and you notice that like in that map there's different veins, but none of them really go into the surface, and there's only one way in right now. And he marks off little X's on a couple of them, and then he goes future out.
Okay. Well, I heard you before talking in more than one word at a time, Wallace. So.
Yes, but I realized that he was a little too smart for a rat last week.
Okay.
So.
Suddenly doesn't feel as useful now. Okay.
He drew and gave
No.
you 3 ways that
I'm
you
just-
could get in and out in the future.
Okay.
Okay. So what do you mean by future there, Wallace?
Not now. Work. And
What kind of work? Like there's bad boys there, or it needs to be blown up, or what?
He nods when you say blown up.
I don't know how
It's
easy
blocked.
to blow stuff up in the sewers. You easily cause a sinkhole, and then suddenly the tavern's a floor lower than it used to be.
I'm not into the construction game, so you know.
Harriet's like looking at it and she goes, we could probably work something. Not.
Oh yeah, this would be pretty useful for you guys, eh?
She's like, yeah, it would. But it's not something that's gonna happen overnight, so
It's like something that's gonna happen
hang
for
tight for a
free.
bit. And she looks, she goes, what are you talking about?
As I take the paper. Okay.
And she goes, I thought we were here to share information with each other.
All right, fine.
Thought we were friends here.
Since you're the ones that's gonna do the majority of the back work here, the leg work,
Yeah, exactly. She puts her hand out and
I'd slap it
she
down.
grabs it and she like very like casually like gives you the middle finger as she's walking away to copy it down. But then she hands it back to you once she's made a cleaner version of this like shitty little map. So she goes, alright, so this is probably gonna be something that'll take a couple weeks for us to do right. So I guess next time you come in here you don't have to go through that shithole of a town to come
Okay.
see us.
Yeah. So Wallace, you're gonna help them get this construction project lifted up, okay? And
All
then,
And they're gonna feed you and
Bathe
keep you
you.
safe. Yeah, hose you down.
I give the lady. I need a pen.
Harriet?
Yeah, I give Harriet
Mm-hmm.
2 gold pieces, and I say, this is to help make his way. This is my payment to you, Wallace. I'm giving it to her so she can give you food and anything else that you might need. This is actually quite a bit of money. If you find any of these, keep them. They're pretty valuable.
Why can't he be responsible for his own finances?
I mean, they did have a big savings that you stole from them.
I'm just saying, like,
We did
it's
take
a
a
little
lot of
strange, it's a little infantilizing to hand his money that you're giving to him to her.
Well, because he has no use for money, but he needs food.
Well, clearly they have a
Shelter.
use for money. We stole this money.
I don't know if they-
Rats take
wish
a lot
for
of
it to just,
shit,
like,
but they
spite.
don't
I
use
don't
it.
think I don't think he's ever spent money, and I don't think Were-Rat really wants to go up and try to spend money up in the town. What's the name of the town?
Dorking.
In
Wallace,
Dorking.
do you want to hold the money or do you want her to hold the money? See?
I take it back. I give Wallace 10 silver.
Oh, he's
I give-
even happier that
I
he's
give-
getting more.
I give her the 1 gold.
Okay. He loves the fact that
So it's
he
the
got
same
10,
amount. Just
but to him, he's gotten more.
I give him
Because he has
10 copper
coins over.
pieces. Just
Oh, you just made his day.
See? The small things that matter.
Yo,
This was an RPG. We'd see the little meter going up.
yo,
Hmm.
the little like heart. And
Yeah.
Wallace will remember that.
I don't think I have any gold from when we took it from the rats, but we can divide that later.
Yeah,
I forgot my character sheet. I wrote it down, but
fair enough.
Oh yeah, I
I
didn't
got
either.
so much money on me. I feel
I
like I'm
have
being
it
mugged.
listed somewhere, and I have a feeling that with what you were paid / stole from the Wright brothers, you're not going to need the hoard money just yet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I had 85. Now I have 82.9.
Just
I'm still getting
83.
80.
Well, no, I gave him 10
I know,
copper.
but just I hate that.
No,
part.
it's 82 with 9 silver pieces. That's how I have it written down.
Okay, fair enough. You find a gold piece on your way out, or a silver piece, or whatever. Because
Oh, you want me to average it back up to
Yeah.
83? Okay.
It just bothers me. All right, so what do you guys choose to do after that? Now that you have given Wallace a new home for now, as a reminder, you still have that list.
I think we established that we were taking a long rest when we came back.
Yeah.
So this would, I think, would be the where we would do the long rest.
Mm-hmm.
But after that,
Are we still obligated to do something with the sheriff? Or
yeah, I'm about to say we gotta go fuck the sheriff up.
Mm-hmm.
Was that?
I mean, they didn't say fuck him up, but they just want him off their back.
I forgot what my plan was
So
this
it's
So-
just finding a way
Do we-
to.
Maybe want to go create an unsolvable riddle of a crime so that they.
Yeah, let's Ted
Spin-
Bundy this.
Oh my god.
All right,
Well, I'm
so
not saying we
gonna,
actually
I
do
want
it
to
for-
talk to Wallace
Although maybe we
on
have
the
to.
side for just like a half minute.
Okay.
And I just want to say something like, okay, now listen.
Mm-hmm.
These people, they're pretty nice, but they're also pretty thrifty. They're not the nicest of folks, okay? So what you just need to remember, very simply, is that your labor has value. And what that means is like when you do something for somebody, expect something in return. I don't know what it's like with rats. I don't know, you maybe got a leader rat who just tells you what to do and you don't get anything. Not the case here. You do something, you get something.
There is a superstructure.
Yeah, there is a superstructure. Yes, and so just keep that in mind. Like you don't need to feel bullied around. If anybody's trying to make you do things you don't want to do, you just say, "I won't take your payment," but I'm not going to do it. And if anybody gives you a real hard time, just let me know when I'm around, and I'll take care of it.
He's nodding his head, but he is still scared of you.
I slip him the Communist Manifesto.
All
The
right.
old fantasy Communist Manifesto.
I don't know why you think that's communist. I basically just explained capitalism
Yeah.
to him. That's like the opposite of communism. Communism is what he used to live in.
He's taking back his labor. Alright? Capitalism's all about exploiting one's labor.
Okay.
Alright.
That's the Marxist view of capitalism. I like that I can see the lake from here. And I like that it kind of rises up
Oh,
like a
yeah.
mountain.
You are right. I can't because my back is to it. Alright, so
I
what
can't
have
because
you
I'm in a
decided?
sewer.
So, what have you decided for your plan once you get back to surface
I
side?
guess we're gonna burn down the sheriff's house, right?
Okay, we don't need
What,
to
do
do
we
that.
do? I need a little refresher on what the ask was. They're just stealing stuff, and they're getting a little too much heat, and they're asking us to get some of that heat off of them.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
yeah.
they have a
Go
small
ahead.
force, so whatever. So if we create a bigger diversion, that was one thing we could do, so that they would focus on a bigger crime as opposed
Right.
to this petty drug trade.
Oh yeah, I don't really like this this particular quest because it's like I don't know what to do. Like I feel like I'm not gonna go intimidate the sheriff. That's an easy
Yeah.
way to get put in jail.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't want to actually do a bigger crime.
no, that wouldn't
Then
be
it's just
good
heat on
too.
us.
And we could pay somebody to do a bigger crime. Thinking about Wallace for a second. No. He'd just die. That's a good way to get Wallace dead. So I don't really, I don't know exactly what to do here. I'm fine if we want to do something else.
I mean, you're not obligated to take up every
Yeah.
quest that you
No,
get.
of course not. So I don't, if there was a strict job to do, I would like to do that job. But if it's just a willy-nilly thing, I don't know. We could go kill some more rats.
We could also try to sneak into the sheriff's office and, I don't know, try to get some dirt on them. See if they're doing anything shady.
And what would be your goal? Let's just say for a second you found shady shit.
I would go to Yield Fantasy printing press and print off a bunch of incriminating stuff and plaster it all over town so we can sound dissent in the town so they don't trust their law enforcement. Create a little bit of chaos. Drug trafficking becomes a little bit easier.
Okay, and so then
It sounds like a good way to destroy the town.
I mean,
I don't like that plan too much. Our goal is like you're taking like a small goal, which is okay. We got some petty thieves. We don't want them to go to jail. Into let's oust the sheriff. Like I don't think that that's necessarily within the parameters of the goal. It's like making a mountain out of a you know.
Molehill?
No, I was gonna say a goblin hill.
well, I'm just saying, manufacturing a crisis is a really effective way of getting this particular task done. We are essentially trying to divert attention so we can either create a bigger
so what
problem.
are other options to do right now, boys? What else do we got? What other tasks do we have available?
We can go
to
find Birka.
Okay, we could go find Birka.
We have no leads
What do we
whatsoever.
get? What do we get for that?
What do you get? You get to see brothers reunited.
Oh, that ain't gonna do it for me.
Well, you know, I'm just saying. It's a good guy. Might pay us. Toros are rich, right? You're it.
Harriet. She's like, yeah, okay. And then just keeps
You know
doing
America and a Birka?
Okay. Oh.
That's kind of racist, isn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I have no leads.
What about that fucking list of names we gave you? There's 12 leads right there.
Yeah, I would like to go figure out who was teaching.
Oh,
Mr.
that's right. I
Rice.
forgot those names.
Me too.
I'm like sitting here like, Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's look at
I
this.
sent
Do
you
we
guys the
know
whole
this?
movie.
Do we know the sheriff's name? Do we know anyone who works for the sheriff who might be on this list?
Ah, yes.
Because that way we could try to maybe kill two birds with one stone. I think that's a nice plan. So, oh yeah, we got the list.
Okay, I got it right here. Let's go to Engor. See Engor.
Okay, right now, I know I'm on my phone, audience. Oh, by the way, we should get the
What?
chat up.
Oh yeah. Hi people. Say hi. We're
Yeah.
lonely.
Where, yeah.
Or,
I'll pull up the stream just to make sure that it's
Okay.
How many viewers
But-
do we have?
I don't know.
I don't know. This one it went off. Oh, anyways, so don't yell at me. I'm pulling up the list of names.
I got it right here. We
Give
got.
us an-
I wrote like 30 paragraphs describing my last DM session to Kelly the other night. So now I gotta scroll through all of that.
We
I
got.
think-
It's in the Stream City one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we got Efril. We got Mariah Carey. We got Siley Renee. Anne Swith. Beatsra? Salty. Bruno Mars.
Bruno Moores.
Gotta roll with it, okay? We got Gary Sherry.
Got one viewer.
Hail Mary, Fenry Winson, Adsing, Engor, and Roburn Bissay.
Okay. Hey. So Ariel, my character
Ariat.
Ariat. So this list of names here.
Mhm.
I paused for a second, looking at a particular name. I'm like, okay, so anyone on here work for the sheriff or have close relations with him?
Not that I know of. It's all kind of like hush hush.
Okay.
So, I know I don't recognize any of them from being from this part of town.
Oh, wait, and so these are their
You- by
real
that-
names,
what do you mean-
not
what
the
do
you-
coded
Real names,
names.
not the
Okay.
coded
Okay, what do you mean by What do you? What do you mean by this part of town? Just
You
trying
know,
to
from
understand.
Dorkin. If they,
Okay,
they
just
might...
Dorkin. I thought you might meant like the underground part of Dorkin.
Oh no. Yeah, she's like, no, they might have come through here once or twice, but like no one that really stays here. They could be from a
Okay.
local town nearby or from another city and they travel real far, but I don't know.
Okay, so
got it.
the issue here is that we don't just want to kind of just.
We fuse the plants. Okay? 2 birds, 1 stone, guys. Or you can feed 2 birds with 1 seed if you want to put a positive twist on it.
Thanks,
We-
Peter.
Well, PETA would just adopt them and then kill them. But that's beside the point. What we're going to do, what we should do, because this is a democracy, we're going to plaster these names all around town, out all these people, that is our distraction. And then
Okay, no.
petty
Yeah.
drug
Really,
trafficking.
I just like no. Because these are returning customers, so you're our potential employer. You're hurting their business prospects. 2, bad idea. 3, terrible idea. Most of these people don't even live in Dorking. Most people in Dorking don't know who these people are.
Yes, but one of them is a necromancer, and
Yes, and
wide net.
Okay, so you know how I've seen you work pretty well with your fingers there. Okay, use that way of doing things to think about these problems. Don't think hammer nail. Think lock and pick. Okay.
Oh yeah, I would do it in the middle of the night so no one would associate me with outing them.
Okay, but no. The idea of putting it on the board—that's the hammer and nail part, not the way you get it on the board.
We're approaching problems very different here, Mags.
Well, okay, it appears I've got more experience in the underworld than you. Okay, so I don't really love the idea of just picking a name at random and trying to find out that person, but I don't really have any other ideas.
Ooh, I got an idea that actually is a good idea.
Okay.
All right.
I had an inn at the inn, well, the poorer inn, so thriftier folks. Talk to the innkeeper there. Maybe Mirka's still there. Maybe they might know what's going on. People that, have a little bit of a relationship with might be able to point us in some direction.
Okay, and they're working at an inn, so they might remember some folks who are staying by. Do you have any physical descriptions of the people on this list?
No.
Yeah, this is all they
Okay,
have.
do you remember anyone on the list? Do you remember them, individually, or?
She thinks real hard, because bear in mind this is from as late as 2 years ago, so just imagine you see someone a couple of times
Mhm.
Right.
for a weekend 2 years ago. Can you accurately describe them enough where they're, even if you did describe them to a T, there's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. But she's that Fenry guy, I remember him. He was fun. He was kind of weird but fun. Robert, he wasn't. I don't know. He was an odd egg too, but different. Then he's oh yeah, he's an odd egg, and Robert's yeah, he's an odd egg.
Okay, so we have a little bit with Fenry and Robert. Yeah, I say we go talk to the innkeeper, but we need an inn. We need why would we be looking for these people?
Cool. Okay, that's not too hard. You just say something along the lines of listen, I got this list of names. I'm looking to find these people. Hush hush, here's a gold. Easy peasy.
Okay, so we're comfortable with people kind of knowing that we're looking for a large group of people.
Oh no, we're not looking for a large group of people.
We say we got a list of names. That sounds a little.
We show
that's
them
shady.
a couple of names. We show them 3 names. I'm looking for these 3 people. You heard of them? Something along those lines. The other thing that we can do is we can, we could just, there's lots of, we just make up an excuse. I'm not worried about that. People are willing to believe what you tell them.
Okay, that's true, but my game is always cover your tracks. The moment we open our mouths, we're laying out our tracks. That's it.
Okay, so what was that game? Theory? 3 wins and Fenry? That was the one that
Fenry,
you...
Winston, and
Do
Robert.
you know where those guys are?
No.
Okay, that's
We met
fine.
in the woods.
That's fine. Oh, you met in the woods. Okay.
That's where we teach them.
Are they humans, dwarven folk? What do we got here?
I don't know. I think they were both human,
Okay.
maybe mixed with something else, but mostly human. Not like this guy.
Hey.
No
small
one
bee.
like me.
Okay. Oh man, detective work, not my strong suit. I like shooting lasers at people.
You know what? Look, you know what?
My
Let's
investigation.
wing it. Let's just wing it.
Sucks.
Winging it. I'm gonna show you how a real thief gets stuff done.
Okay.
Okay, I'm willing to go talk to the barkeep I paid last night. I want to go up and talk to her.
Yeah, let's go talk Mishka? Mishka?
Oh man, that's from 5 sessions ago.
Yes, we've had 3 sessions.
5 sessions ago. I have to pull out the correct ones.
Just 3? This is 4, right?
This is number 4.
This is number 4. I think it might feel like 5 because we had the
A week and
0.
Break,
Yeah.
yeah.
Give me 1 second. You actually didn't get the name of the innkeeper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to head back up there.
Okay. Make a perception check. So I'm not gonna say like you have to make a check to like sneakily get out of the sewers in an alleyway. So, but make a perception check.
That one.
Nat 20.
That one.
No way.
What is
I
this?
love
I know what to do, but
Oh my
you two are
God,
lost.
I'm gonna text you something.
Wow.
Okay. These student Nat 1ers over here.
I mean, technically, I got an 8.
Black dice, you've been very unlucky in the past, but you are now in good graces. You were in dice prison, and it looks like you learned your lesson.
All right, I just sent you. I mean, it's not much, but
But it's something.
yeah. Because that's kind of like what I don't want to give too much away, but like you get a very strong sense of what I sent you. That is all.
Okay, make sure that my mage armor and everything's cast on me.
Do I notice that he's casting stuff on him?
I cast it every hour, so you are about every hour. So because I cast them at will. So
Is it like a noticeable like thing?
I do it in secret, but like I wouldn't care if you guys saw me do it.
Oh, I'm asking if like, is it like something where you pat yourself and you like glimmer for a sec? I'm asking like,
Yeah,
what
sure,
do I
something
see?
along those lines.
Okay.
It's not visible, though. They're not visible on the outside when I'm done casting them.
Yeah.
Are you doing it in like response to something, or is this just
I'm
like,
just
oh, it's off,
I'm
yeah,
like
gonna
checking
put it on.
myself, then I turn to you guys. Something's up.
Okay. Here?
Okay, obviously you guys aren't noticing, but that's okay.
I literally I've rolled a 1. I'm looking up.
Yeah. Okay. So something. It's quiet. It's the middle of the day.
Yeah, you're right. It is quiet.
Awfully quiet.
A little too quiet. No. Oh well.
Okay. So what I want to like kind of go out to the street and kind of like just kind of like not go all the way into it, but just kind of like look and see is anyone out.
There's not, but with your perception check, you can hear just like a set of like, what's it? Horse feet. What are they called? Hooves. Like,
Yeah.
Horses, huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Just
so
like a couple of them. I can't tell you. Don't know how many, but they're walking, not running. Pretty much.
It's muddy, so it's like getting stuck.
It's not
in the
muddy. It didn't rain.
Okay, I'm gonna go see if I can take a look. I'm gonna try to roll stealth check to see what's
Okay.
going on.
I'm gonna. Do I recognize?
That's a nat 20.
Do I
Nice.
Okay, but do I recognize like what the hooves are or anything like that? Like have I experienced this kind of thing
Actually,
before?
Yes, you have. I didn't want to give you too much, so you could kind of think it through.
I'm gonna
Actually, I'm just gonna say no.
Yeah, you can say it out loud. It's
Okay.
fine.
Because you would just share it.
Yeah.
It's very reminiscent of when the Inquisition comes to investigate.
No one expects the Spanish
Yes.
Inquisition.
God, I knew that was gonna happen, and I was so mad because I really was waiting for the sheriff to come and go. Oh, we've been expecting you, and you ruined it. But anyway, at like checkpoints, like there's the Inquisition at checkpoints, but sometimes they comb through towns, to investigate for one thing or another. So you've experienced this before in your travels, so you know that it's something like
all of
that.
us, or just Mags?
I don't know if you would, Boggs.
Okay.
Definitely Max, because she's traveled a lot. You probably to some extent, but you haven't
They'd
really
be in the
stuck
capital.
around.
Yeah,
sure.
I'd imagine. So what I'm trying to do with this roll is I want to be like able to like move
Mhm.
the trash can so that no one hears it,
Mhm.
but also be able to like peek and see what the F is
Okay.
going on.
There's no one in the street right now, but you can hear that some are approaching. Like, so if you're in like this alleyway looking down, like this alleyway, and here's the street, they're probably coming like from here to,
So can I see them?
Do
you
I?
can't see them because there's like buildings in the way,
Okay.
but you can tell that they're coming like from here onto the road that you're looking at right now from your alley.
I grab Boggs and I try to pull, and I'm like, we can't be seen, and I want to try to hide.
Okay.
I don't know. just hide wherever. And I don't know exactly what the layout of the alley is.
I mean, you could stay in the sewer. That is an option.
And then, so when we get back to wherever we're hiding, I want to
make a stealth check. Because you're still you.
Oh yeah, you want me to do it again?
Yes,
Cool.
to see if you can remain hidden as they turn.
That's
the
gonna be
corner.
16.
Okay, let me just do. Okay, you beat one of them. Alright. 3 of them don't notice something, but then you see, so they start going this way and, 1 second. So they kind of spread out a little bit, and 3 of them go in different directions, but you happen to, catch eyes with one of them. And then as you dip back.
I'm not dipping back.
Oh, okay, so you're just staying
I mean,
there?
yeah, I already got caught. So
Okay, fair enough.
If we're gonna play a staring game, I'm gonna win.
I'm gonna
Okay.
cast Minor Illusion.
I'm gonna make a con save to see how long I can keep eye contact.
Let's all of you say what you're going to do in this moment.
Okay.
You're already having a stare contest.
Yeah.
I'm
dropping all magic.
Okay.
Changeling form into a blonde barmaid in front of him. And I kind of just don't worry, it's not that weird.
And I'm like,
Wait.
who am I?
Oh, you're projecting.
No, I'm turning myself into
Okay.
somebody else.
Okay.
But he lets me see it.
A blonde,
Okay, I was
blonde
confused.
barmaid kind
Okay.
of thing. I am still wearing the same clothes, I guess,
Mhm.
but I dropped any magic that's on me,
Mhm.
like anything that could be felt with the detect magic.
So is the person who's looking at Franz seeing?
He only sees Franz because Franz is the only one with his.
He's
head
poking
out
his
right
head
now.
out of the
And I rolled a
alleyway, and you and I
19 as a
are in the
con save.
back.
All right.
As a what?
So he has
Save
no really.
for
Okay,
the
so
staring
you
contest?
definitely beat him in the staring contest.
So
Yes.
I want to cast Minor Illusion, make a sound that is far away from us, like on the opposite end of town, to try to.
The range is only
Yeah.
30 feet on Minor Illusion.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Do you have the thing right there?
No.
That's something your character would know. So your character wouldn't try to cast
Yeah.
Minor Illusion across town and be like, "Oh, what? That's not how much."
Well, I mean,
who
I don't-
knows?
I don't
It is his
think it
first
needs to
time
be-
casting it.
I don't think
yes.
it needs to be necessarily from across town, just opposite of us, so that the dude. How far is the dude from?
Yeah.
Max and Bob.
Let's make a chart, or not a chart.
The
a map.
second I see him trying to cast some magic, I want to try to grab his hand and no, don't cast magic.
Can they sense magic? Or do they see magic?
Well, don't forget we have those scrolls.
Okay, so 1 second. Alright, so I'm going to D20, D8, D10. Okay. So the one that sees you is here. I'll say one is here. One's still kind of back here, and the other one started turning this way.
And where are we?
Over well, you'll be in various positions. So Franz, you'll definitely be
But we're in that
over
alleyway.
here. Yeah.
Beep.
Yep. Do you have your? No, you don't have your Ninja Turtle with you.
I don't.
Okay, so actually,
Here's me.
okay. Thank you.
Oh wait, no. D12 is fine. Yeah,
Okay.
I have 2 other ones.
All right. So I guess you're back. The 2 of you are back
Okay,
there.
black dice. You can't let me down here.
Yep. So
So after I get done and I push him into the hiding, I'm gonna try to approach the. I'm gonna start back towards the guards and stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna make 2 do the whole thing that just played out.
Okay.
I went to do the thing, and you were like, no, don't.
Okay. So when this happens, so let me describe them to you, or rather to the viewers, because you guys have experienced them before. The Inquisition typically are mounted. They have long, dark maroon cloaks in like a Darth Vader style, but
There are
like
5 of them? So they're
No,
not
there's-
Maroon 5.
one, but he's in training.
Oh.
So he's useless. But he's just there for he's
That
doing
joke.
his yes. He's doing his observation hours as an Inquisitioner.
Well,
Um
she will be loved.
yeah, God damn it. Anyway.
That's it. I'm done. I have no more Maroon 5 material.
Neither do I. But anyway.
Are you gonna try to play a SpongeBob song and then not?
Travis Scott appears out of nowhere.
All right, so
Big
anyway.
boy
Sorry.
coming in on that
Daddy.
hopper.
Those
Yeah.
are the worst. Anyway, it's like a Darth Vader like cloak, and they got like this sort of like helmet, but it's all maroon instead of black. And they do wear a black face mask with like almost a respirator by their mouths.
Oh.
So whenever they talk, it's very muffled, and it's a cross between like an evil Morgan Freeman and Darth Vader. So because unless they're face to face or nearby, a lot of their communication is done through some form of sign language for them to signal to each
Oh,
other.
damn. Hot diggity daffodil.
So there's that. So the one that catches eyes with you
That's how they do it.
approaches you.
You there! Sorry.
God damn it.
My bad Bane impression.
We got to kill the Batman. I can't do it, but anyway. So he walks up to you and goes, "Business here? Oh, what's your business here?"
What's your business here?
I asked you first. I can't do this seriously. Sorry. I'm really trying to be like, yeah. It's very hard to be intimidating when I have
I'm
like
coming up from.
this.
I'm just going to the inn, man. Just staying at the inn.
papers.
Papers. I'm already in town.
Papers.
Fine, God. All this ball busting.
Yep. They're here to bust balls. And then they he's looking at it, or you can't tell what gender, but spoiler alert, it's a he. He's looking at it, and this other one, the useless one in training, he has not graduated to his mask yet, so you're able to hear him.
Okay.
And he goes, there was a fire last night. And,
Fire.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! In what district?
Sorry. And he goes, no, not a district, a house, mansion.
Yeah. In what? Where?
Do you,
In the town?
no.
Oh my goodness! You scared me. Jesus.
Do an what's it called? Performance performance.
Black, don't let me down. Okay, 10 is okay because I got good performance. That's 14.
That's good enough. Like you
Don't have proficiency in performance. Darn it.
And he goes, we are trying to find the murderers of Edward and not Edward. Spoilers after Ed now from FMA, but the Wright brothers. Yeah. If you could give the good men your papers, we would appreciate it.
Oh my goodness, I left my papers at home. Oh, I live here. I just, you don't think to bring it when you're just out for the day.
That's a good one. He believes you, but he goes, all right, well, you're going to have to come with us so we can find your papers, have a look, and have you on your way.
Of course.
Sorry. Since you've got him talking now, he's like, have you noticed any magic folk? Shapeshifters in particular.
Oh, I can't say I have. They keep to themselves even if they are magical. But yeah, just I work in a bar and I can't think of anyone who's been doing any funky stuff. No.
All right.
What do you mean, shapeshifter?
Well, last night, the mother of the two brothers came to the town, but it clearly was not, since she has been dead for 3 years now.
That's fucked up.
So you can use magic to look like other people? It's not just like lifting stuff up?
No.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad.
I'm very impressed with this right now.
I am so glad that you guys are here
Oh my god.
and protecting us from these people.
And pause. The one with your papers looks at you and he goes, we're gonna have to bring you in for some questioning.
Why?
You're gonna have to come with us.
Why?
At that point, this one comes over to like block you off from like being able to. So like they know that you're not a threat right now, but they don't want you to get involved in this. And he goes, "These are fake papers."
Oh, they're not.
We know.
No. They're real. It was given to me.
They're not, yes, but they're not legitimate. So we are going to have to take you to the sheriff's office.
I'm good. You can talk. We can just talk right here.
No,
Yeah, I'm not. No.
I'm going to have to ask you to come with us.
You can
to the
ask me. I
sheriff's.
can say no.
You can, but we would like
Am I
to
being
avoid-
detained?
Hey,
Am I being detained?
These aren't the kind of people we need to say no to. They're just doing their job. It's all okay. It's all okay. What's the problem? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wasn't really listening. What's going on?
And you're asking the real, yeah, okay. So he goes, these are fake papers, and we need to take him to the sheriff's office.
Jeremy, what are you doing with fake papers?
Those were given to me.
By which one of your friends put you up to this?
None of them.
They're for work, so that he can work in your restaurant.
No.
I'm saying
Look,
that.
I know you don't trust Seth, but he's a good guy. He wouldn't do this.
And
You are always hanging out with the wrong crowds.
at this point, they're kind of moving over a
Now
little
look
bit.
what you've gotten yourself into. Oh my goodness.
You're gonna have to let us take him to the sheriff's office.
That's the way it's got to be. I mean, you can't. What were you even using them for?
What you told me to.
Are
When
you
I had to
going-
go out of town to get provisions for the bar.
So they're dismounting at this point, and are you going to let them,
No.
continue?
No.
Okay,
All right, we're about to fight the ring wraiths, I think.
a little bit. Are you
I want to make it clear, like I'm just trying. I'm
What?
acting like a disobedient kid.
Listen,
I'm not like
Jeremy,
fighting them.
Listen, Jeremy,
okay,
you've got
but
to
are
go
you?
with
But
these
like,
guys.
are you going to Are you going to initiate combat?
No, I'm not going to initiate
That's
combat.
that's the main thing.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. So you roll a d20 to see how how wiggly you are.
What do you want me to add? Acrobatics, athletics.
Dex, any sort of dex thing, just to see like
Okay.
how difficult you make it for them.
That's an 18 plus. We'll just use my dex. That's gonna be 22.
Okay, you give them a very hard time, and if you were really his brother, like you would be very embarrassed at what he.
Or you should be impressed.
A little
to be his
bit.
sister.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
But anyway.
relatively young. Younger than my character actually is.
Gotcha. So then, if you're his sister, you are very impressed with the level of fight he puts up. Just make them look like an idiot. In fact, as Lane puts it, what was it? The perfect image. Or so he does that.
Irresistible image?
The irresistible
That's
image,
it.
yeah.
Yep. So they kind of lead you away. The horses were actually no, they're over here still. So they start leading you away over here. All right, here's the fun part.
Okay, so you're just taking him to the sheriff's office, right?
And the little one kind of nods his head.
Okay, so I can go see him in a little bit later, right?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
All right.
And that's why I should bring my papers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they're going. He says that they're going to follow you. So you imagine some of them are going to come with you, and some of them are going to take him to the sheriff's office. All right. So you're going to have to hang tight for this because I typed it out. All right. So the tallest inquisitioner shackles your hands behind your back and makes a gesture with their hand to one of the others, who slips a rope around your neck like a lead, with the lead like a dog.
Was it
He
a
guides
little
you back to the-
unnecessary?
Yup. During the short walk away from your friends, you can feel something is very wrong. Both Inquisitioners are walking a little too precise, like they're waiting for the exact time or place for something to happen. It's an action you should have dodged. You're usually better than this. You see the Inquisitioner beside you tighten their grip on the rope, and you hear the sound of a sword getting unsheathed from behind you. You had plenty of time to understand that something malevolent was afoot, and the proof of that comes to fruition when you feel a pain worse than you could ever imagine. You look down, and you see the tip of the Inquisitioner's sword jutting out of your chest. You can't even shout. The wind is knocked out of you, and your lungs are too damaged by the blade to draw another breath. And although the sword is the thing that's killing you, it's the only thing that's holding you up on your feet. You can't move right now, but what's going through your mind at this moment?
Fuck.
What about
Well
you,
put.
Boggs?
Do I see that?
I don't know. I
He's
guess
hiding.
not. Yeah. Okay, so what's going through your head right now? It's bullet time. So I'm
Who
curious.
is? What am I seeing? So there's one of the other ones came up and stabbed him from behind.
Pretty much.
I like blood curdling scream like, oh my god!
Is it like legit? Are you acting as a sister or like legitimate? Like
Doesn't matter.
okay, we'll leave it like that.
I think it does. I'm being killed.
In what you now realize are your final moments, it dawns on you that they believe you to be the shapeshifter that came into town last night. And everyone knows that when it comes to the willful use of magic, the Inquisitioners take no prisoners. You feel the blade get pulled back, leaving your body as agonizingly as it had entered. You collapse almost immediately, and this is it. Just as your eyes are about to close, you see a brilliant green light swoop down from the heavens and it crashes into your dying body, causing your whole being to glow.
Oh, shit.
As quickly as the life was leaving you, it begins to return with even more vigor than before. There's an energy in you now that you never felt before, and it's begging to be used like your legs beg for a run when you sit for too long. Suddenly, you're on your feet again. The rope around your neck burns to dust, and the shackles around your wrists melt into nothing. The green aura surrounding your body morphs away to the shape of a gorgeous translucent green owl that is now sitting on your shoulders. It has heard your cry for help, and it's ready to fuck shit up. Let's roll for initiative.
15.
Okay,
18.
What do we had?
You had your dexterity modifier.
8.
Fantastic. Hold on one sec. Max got 18, you said?
Mm-hmm.
You got 8?
Which works because I'm still like behind a trash can.
True. And what's
I think something's going on out there. Should maybe peek around and look.
I just died.
pretty much. Barely.
Wait, so did I die or did I get like?
You were
Last-
almost.
okay.
Like you were just ready to.
I was knocking on heaven's door. Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's gonna be important for me.
Yep. Oh, I have 2 d8s over here. We gotta change that. I'm just gonna do this over here. And he runs off. He's gone. Yeah. One second.
Would you say
Mm-hmm.
that he moved like Jagger?
No.
No.
1 second. Who am I missing? 1 d6. I'm missing d10.
Just had a little more Maroon 5 material, but yeah, it's over.
All right,
Moment
Max.
passed.
It is your turn.
I'm gonna move the mic just a little bit so I can see the.
Sure thing. By the way, you're level 3.
Woo!
You're not, but you are.
Oh, man.
They fucked you up so hard, you gained a level.
Okay, I have to remember what my spells are.
Came back like Gandalf the White, but you're Franz the Green.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, are you up first?
I am.
Oh, with the familiar, do you just want it to go on my turn, or do you want me to roll a separate initiative?
Let's do it on your turn for now.
Okay.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Not sword into the back of that guy.
Wait, where are you? Oh yeah,
D8.
that one. Okay. Roll. Do your attack roll.
That's only a 13.
It's not gonna do it. 1 second, I gotta pull these closer. Franz, you're up next. But first, I want you to roll a D100.
D100. My 10.
I think after my failed attack, I would.
64.
Does he notice me? Would I have to? I guess I can't really disengage. Shoot.
64. Sorry, I have to. Okay. Where are you right now?
I am in front of them.
Okay. The one in front of you. Okay, they pass. But so pretty much a burst of energy just like emits from your body. Like you didn't control it; it just does it. But they're able to dodge out of the way just in time, and now you do whatever you're gonna do.
You know
It's
what?
like residual magic that was still there.
This is a big character moment for Franz, but he's still gonna say this because I've been waiting for this moment.
Uh-huh.
You know what? You guys put the dork in dorking.
Oh my god. Love it.
And with that, the owl swoops past this one. And it does not give them an opportunity attack because of flyby. It's going to perform the help action,
Okay.
which gives me initiative on my hit, and I'm going to cast my
Initiative? What?
Advantage.
advantage. Sorry,
sorry.
advantage, and I'm going to cast Booming Blade, which
Nice.
is a cantrip. 3. That is going to be 13.
It's not gonna do it.
Okay, I'm gonna.
But it looks really cool.
Cool. I'm gonna disengage and run the fuck away.
Which way?
I'm going where Maroon 5 went.
You're gonna like.
Provoke a bunch of attacks of opportunity.
I'm disengaging.
Well, you're disengaging from one.
Yeah.
Then I'm going down the alley.
But that's still one.
Yeah, the only
2,
one you
3.
can disengage with is
Boom.
Yes,
Okay.
that way.
Yup. Okay. Next up. Who is up next? I imagine you would have taken your full movement at that point, or.
Yeah, I'm going full 30 feet.
Okay. 1 second. So you're here 5, 10, 15, 20. I'm gonna do 25, 30 as if it's, but we know that it's down the road. Alright, who is next? It is D6. And he's gonna run after you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Am I like behind a wall right now?
No, you're like down the road
Oh, okay.
at that point.
Gotcha.
And we'll figure out what to do there. And he can't catch up to you. And the D20 can, though. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And he is going to take a big old swipe at you with his sword.
Let's do it.
It's 15 plus stuff.
Yeah, it is.
So that's going to hit. 1 second.
Actually, let me do my health while I'm here.
Yeah. Because you're probably going to want that.
Did you go to a building? Or is it just another alleyway?
4, 6 damage.
Wow. Okay, so I'm at now 21.
And then next up is Boggs.
Alright. Okay, so.
Yep.
Do you think. Are we wanting to fight these guys, or is escape like the primary?
I'm not a part of this conversation.
Yeah. Alright.
He's too far away. I would turn you into get out of here. If you're showing yourself, like, but you're still hiding from my perspective. So when I see you, I'd be like gesture to get out.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I would have heard the commotion and be unsettled. I've got 10 feet, so well, yeah, whatever. I'll just do that. I'm gonna cast poison spray on the D8 there.
Sounds good. And he has to do a con save?
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. That's a nat 20.
Damn.
I know. I'm sorry. And next up is the D10, who is in pursuit of Franz. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can't do it. And then D8, he's going to move, but going to invoke an opportunity attack from both of you. So, let's just get here. So the two of you can opportunity attack.
Yeah.
20?
Yep.
20.
You
Nat 20.
crit him, but nothing? Okay.
It was a 4
so roll
plus
your
something,
damage
so.
die twice and add your modifiers once.
May I have
Uh,
D4, please?
You're unarmored striking him? Don't you have any weapons?
I have a club.
Club him.
I am, with my D4.
That's all it is?
Yeah. -1, actually, so 2.
And then, so roll again because you get 2 instead.
And 1.
So 3 plus any modifiers on that?
No, my strength is at -1, so
Great.
not made for clubbing.
Okay.
Should have
Shouldn't have attacked them.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay. And we're back at the top with Mags.
Are they looking at me?
They are all going after Franz right now. because they believe that he is the shapeshifter, especially now that he's been magical as shit.
That's a good deduction. Not gonna lie. They did some great work. They did some good inquisiting right there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, and like even though they even though Boggs used magic, like he kind of did like a failed attempt. So I'm not even sure if they kind of like registered that he's a threat versus you.
Sorry, I'm looking up a spell.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I comes after E.
Except after C.
My friend approves of your owl, by the way.
Yeah. Owl's name is Sova, by the way.
Alright, minor illusion. Here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. As far down this alley, his voice yelling. What?
Well, like they see him.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay.
His voice yelling, "Over here, dorks!" And I bolt in that direction
Oh, that's
for 30,
clever.
30 feet the other direction.
All right. Are you roll a deception check?
That'll be a 21, I believe.
They
Yep.
are very convinced. Let's just make sure that. Yeah, you done fooled all of them. So they're like,
I'm going to actually go to the bathroom very quickly.
That is fine.
But that's the end of my turn. So whatever 30 feet in that movement. So I was at the
Yeah.
edge, so 10.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, yeah.
Alright. I was at the corner already, so maybe, yeah. Alright.
Sounds good. Franz,
Cool.
you're
So
up.
Sova is going to fly by and distract D20 over there.
Okay.
I'm going to then do Booming Blade again.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be... Okay, that's going to be 23.
That hits.
Okay, so, let's see. That's 1, 5, 10. It's going to be 14 points of damage.
Oof. He is knocked prone.
And
From that.
if he moves, he takes an additional 1d8 damage. And I am now dashing 60 feet.
Okay. You're gonna get a shitload of opportunity attacks.
It's only him. He's prone and was distracted by
Right.
Sova. They're not.
You're right, because they're all looking in the... I'm gonna give you that. You're absolutely right. So, because it also, they would be like over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Alright. Cool.
I would actually want to go down the other way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I imagine I heard my own voice,
Uh-huh.
and so just to split them.
Okay. So
you're off the board.
yeah, we're just gonna put you off the board at this point.
I'm gonna probably circle around.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Damn,
Then you're over here. And I imagine, you know what, we're gonna be here, but we're gonna pretend that you went around, and then they can't see you right now because you're on like the back side of the.
Yeah. My idea is I want to get on the other side of the alley.
Yep. So that's fine. So I'll essentially.
Sorry, I'm not trying to break your board.
No, I didn't set up like this with combat in mind. Which was my own fault.
Whoops.
So yeah, so D6 and D20 are up next. Roll your damage dice for D20.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be 7.
You don't get the satisfaction of seeing this guy get up and immediately get wrecked.
Do I hear anything?
I don't think you would hear it at this point.
Okay.
But you hear the crack. You hear the crack of the booming blade, but you don't hear like his dying breath.
D20's dead
I
Yeah.
did 21 damage.
on a booming blade.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, with the booming blade damage, yeah.
Yep. Boggs, you're up next.
Follow me.
I'm gonna cast a fog cloud here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 60 feet out.
Oh, you're 60 feet in that direction. You took the dash.
And then
Yeah.
run out following Mags there. So it's 20-foot radius
Mm-hmm.
with a range of 120 feet. Centered on a point within range.
20 feet. So.
Here.
just do it like this. There's... Something like that.
Okay.
Oh, it goes up there.
You can get one more X horizontally if it's a 20-foot cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can put it there.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
And then you're bolting towards me.
And then I'm headed that way. Yeah.
Sounds good. Can you describe fog cloud for us?
Yeah.
Like what the effects are?
Do you want me to just read it?
Yep.
Created a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. The sphere spreads around corners and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration, up to an hour, or until a wind of moderate or greater speed disperses it.
Okay.
It's a little stinky too. It smells like
Swampy?
it smells swampy. Yeah.
Okay. They're going to it's D10, D8. Whoops, I moved them in the wrong order. But anyway, they're gonna like move into here. Actually, I'm supposed to do this instead. Sorry. And then they kind of get a little lost at that point. And next up is Mags.
I'll take the dash and just get out of here. 60
Okay.
feet. That's
me. But
That's
yeah.
Ryan.
Whoops.
Who kind of placed this thing like 40 feet away from where he was, but I don't know if that matters very much.
No, the point is like off the map will
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What I'm saying is like that's
Yeah,
not where
I
Ryan
was
would have
maybe a little
been.
bit
He's
far.
maybe like 15 feet behind there.
Oh, okay.
If that matters for spells and stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I take the dash action. Right before I dash, I'm like, we got to get out of here, and I'm dashing away.
Browns, what do you do?
Okay, I'm gonna start dashing in that way, but this is where things are gonna get a little bit fun. Sova is going to go cast Mage Hand for me,
Okay.
and it's going to attempt to basically attempt to disarm one of them.
It's in a fog cloud, so I don't know if she will be able to.
Let's see.
She is Fae.
She is Fae. She has dark vision, and keen hearing and sight. Has advantage on perception checks.
I'm gonna say you could do it, but with disadvantage, just because fog cloud is like
But it says I have advantage.
on fine. Then it cancels each other out.
Okay.
So it's just a normal.
Perception. It's going to be her dex.
I'm just like
15.
asking a
Okay.
question. I'm just
Yes?
so wait. How is the owl casting Mage Hand? I'm just confused.
So find familiar. Where is it?
Because you could.
Finally, when you cast a spell with a range of touch, familiar can deliver the spell as if it had cast the spell. Your familiar must be within 100 feet of you, which she is, and it must use a reaction to deliver the spell when you cast it.
Okay, so
And
but,
then my mage hand has a range of, I believe, 30 feet.
oh, I guess all right. So to me, range of touch means like shocking grasp, like touch something, not like it can't cast range spells. And then also, just based on the wording, and I'm just trying to get maybe it's a homebrew or whatever. I just was trying to clarify because to me that means that you're the one still casting the spell. That's your action.
Mhm.
It's just the owl delivers it for
Yes,
you.
the owl was
Okay.
delivering my
The
action.
way you worded it was, I'm gonna have the owl cast Mage Hand.
Oh yeah,
And so-
I am casting mage hand
Okay.
through the owl.
Okay. Just as a heads up, you are so full of magical energy right now that like you know it and you're not rolling anything, but
Yeah.
like in the future you're gonna have to roll
Yes,
the d12s,
yes.
but like this is like surge mode essentially. So yes, with the 15 it's able to see and roll a sleight of hand now.
It's my sleight of hand. It's going to be a 17.
Okay, you disarm one of them. You don't know which one.
Doesn't.
But-
I can see through the owl. I can see
Okay.
here through the owl. So
Then you disarm D8.
yeah, D8's fine.
What's an action to see through its eyes?
Let's see.
You're not wrong. I haven't looked up the things of familiar. so-
I have Find Familiar right in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
One of my
Okay.
players at my
Well,
table
I can-
has it, so
I
we
can communicate
talked
it
about
with
what
the
they
telepath.
can do and can't do
Gotcha.
a lot. So
I imagine the owl's telling me
Okay.
what's going on.
Yeah, we'll work out the mechanics of what we can and can't do, but for the purpose of this particular fight, I'm gonna just say it's magic surge
I'm a
time.
killjoy.
Um,
These are the technical rules.
And then as a bonus
Yep.
action, I'm now dashing on the other side of the street
Okay, so you guys
towards them.
catch up essentially. So I'm going to say because the other ones are like lost in the fog cloud, and you guys are essentially off the map with the exception of Boggs, I'm not going to. Like, it goes D6 who's down that way anyway. Boggs is probably going to move. So now what do you guys do now that you have lost the Inquisitioners?
Can anyone see me?
Everyone's inside. You can't tell if they can see you through the windows.
Okay.
Wait, we're in the end now?
No, we're not.
No, you're just
We're
somewhere
bolting.
else.
We got to get out of town. That's what we got to do. That's what I say. We got to get out of town.
Can we get? Do you think the doors are still guarded, or should we go back to the sewer? Because I obviously can't just stroll out of town.
Well, I don't know if they're guarded. I don't know if these guys are the ones guarding the doors. I don't know what's going on.
Let's just bum rush the door then. Yeah, maybe we can run past them.
How based on our experience with the door, how likely would I feel like we could just run past it? It's like a gate like with turnstiles and like all the jazz. There's just kind of like, here's the gate, there's a guy.
It's like, here's a gate, there's a guy,
Alright,
because
that's what I was-
typically it's not
How
this
big
sort of
is this town?
situation. Not terribly big. It's got like
Okay.
8 main buildings and some residential.
Okay. That was
like a
imagining
passing
pretty
through
rinky-dink
town. Like, I would say in its entirety, it's like a quarter of the size of campus.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Maybe half if you. No, it's like the quarter size of campus.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right. Let's get out of town. Let's
we can
find
go to the end. Carry on with our
I
mission.
think they're going to be looking for us, probably in all of these 8 buildings. So let's GTFO.
Where are we going?
What do you know about the Inquisition, Mags? Like, where are they located? Where's their headquarters?
It's not here. We got to get out of town. We got to get to where there aren't people. I don't
All
care.
right.
Out in the woods, you know what's up back there.
Let's do that.
Run into the woods, lose them.
All
That's our goal.
Yeah.
No trace.
One step at a time.
Okay, so we bolt
Okay.
towards the gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe like when I'm about to get to the corner where the gate is, I want to kind of like peek around and see what's up.
Make a perception check.
16.
20.
I believe 16.
Nice.
Perception.
Finally.
The two of you are able to tell that, like, it's guarded more heavily than usual, but not by Inquisitioners. It's by average guards at this point.
How many?
There's 3. Usually there's 1.
I want to get to where I can
Okay.
use my minor illusion to let's see. I want them to hear a cry for help away from wherever we are. With the idea that they would go investigate or at least look over there. How many people are by the door, did you say?
3.
3.
So maybe 2 would go and 1 would stay. Or even if 1 just left.
Sorry. Where is the marker? There it is. Alright, I'm gonna say, here's the gate. You guys. One second. So there's 2, like, on the inside part, and then there's still 1 checking, ready to check people in. There's no one being checked in, but you guys are over here in this, like, in the street, on the side of the street somehow. Or however you want to dictate yourselves, but there's street and stuff, and no buildings on the side. Just kind of like shrubbery and pretty stuff and trees.
So, I mean, we're able to walk through here? Or is that-
Yes, that's walkable.
Is there any cover?
Not really. There's like a tree or 2, but like nothing like where you could sneak up.
Alright. Well,
There's
I
the
don't
tree.
I don't think my minor illusion will work then. It's too far. I could bring them back over here. But that's not what I want to do. And anyway, I could just yell to do that.
Can I perception check to see if like anyone is looking?
Like looking at what? I'm sorry.
Like looking at us, like in any of the houses or anything. I rolled a 16 on my other perception check.
Oh.
If you want to just use that.
Where you are right now, the only people that might see you are the guards.
But I'm like kind of hidden behind like a wall or something, or like behind something, right?
Yeah, like at some point.
But like none of the windows. There's no one looking.
Right, like everyone's kind of like inside and scared inside.
Okay. I changeling form into the guard, the novice guard, the novice inquisitioner.
Okay.
And
I like how he only exists because someone wanted to. 5 joke.
and so then I just kind of like follow my lead, and like I start walking up, and I'm like, "Come on, man, get out of the way. We got to get through."
Okay. Make a
Yeah.
deception check with advantage because it's a changeling
This is
related
a
thing.
Hans Chewy thing, yeah?
Nat 20 with a 19 as the
Yeah.
other one, so that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay. Like they see you and they're just like, like they, like, what the, and then they see that it's you, one of the Inquisitioner type people, and they just part. Like there's no questions asked with what you just rolled.
All right. It's like, yep. Thank you. You guys have a great. You guys have a good day. We'll be out of here pretty soon, okay? And I just keep marching out. Once I'm out of eye line, into the fucking swamp forest or whatever.
All right. So.
I want to send Sova to see what, like, high up, what the hell's going on.
Sure. Give me one moment. What's the range for her out of?
100 feet.
Okay.
Well, within 100 feet, I can telepathically communicate and do, like, I can, as an action, see through her.
Okay. We can work enough with that because you're out of combat. But pretty much, you can tell that in the town, the only people moving outside of the buildings are the Inquisitioners who are still trying to search for you.
Gotcha.
By the looks of it.
Okay.
So now what?
It's worth noting, just for the future with the advantage on changeling things, it's not on all deception checks. It's on deception checks to, I believe it's like to prove like that I am who I say I am.
Okay.
So it's like if someone's like, you're not who you say you are, you changeling, like I have advantage on those deception checks, but it's not like any. So in that case, maybe you'd say, because I'm wearing different clothes, for instance, maybe you could say, oh, maybe they're catching on what's going on here, but then me, so like I have advantage because they're trying to discern my true nature.
Gotcha.
Or something along those lines, but I don't just have like natural, I have +6 on deception, so it's not like I'm not deceptive, but it's like I don't have like advantage on all deception checks.
And like, with your nat 20 +6, there's like no feasible way for them.
It would have been a 25 even with the disadvantage. So.
Yeah, they definitely would not have been able.
Good job, Black Dice. You're in my good graces. You rolled 2 nat 20s today.
Beautiful. All right. So you guys get into the forest, and we'll just assume that Boggs is just kind of recuperating. So.
Right.
And can Boggs be like can we make survival checks to try to be not tracked?
Yeah. So you guys do that. I'll let Ryan
Survive.
Black Dice, you roll a 3! Come on, Black Dice, or 4.
That's going to be a 21.
To be fair, I just want to note something. In this case, basically, with a 4, I'm basically covering my tracks as well as though I wasn't covering. But it's not like if you try to do something and you just do it really bad, it's not like you just did it worse than not doing anything, right?
God damn it.
Unless it's
I'm looking at you like, oh, first time, eh?
I changeling back into Megs.
Okay.
And I'm like, we probably got some talking to do, but I don't hang out in the forest too much. I'm a city girl.
Yeah.
I was like, did he get locked out?
Do you mean to leave the keys in?
Yes.
Yeah, it smells.
So we are in the forest.
All right.
Roll a survival check to cover our tracks. Is that an L1?
Give me another dice.
Put it in Dice Prison.
Dice prison's in front of you, brother. Oh, I guess.
Where'd it go? There it is.
It's like the third in that one.
I know.
So I'm just terribly inept at covering any tracks.
Apparently, they just think there's only two people now.
I cover tracks, but then I make tracks.
You're covering all of our tracks. So the hope is just that
I think that
we're harder. With that, we must be really hard to track, right? Like, what is some of this is really easy, some of this is really hard. The goal is just hopefully, once we get off the road, that
Wow.
He's just he's so caught up in the pressure of the moment.
Yeah.
All right.
So as I changeling back into Mags though, 1, 2, 3, 4 strands of streaks of white hair are just in my head.
Man, what day?
Wowee. So.
Apparently I died or almost died. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Yeah. You really put the king in dorking.
Hey.
Hey.
We gotta find a place to rest.
Yeah, I gotta find a place to repress all of this.
Repress.
Well, just
near-death experience.
Your health is normal. The Sova brought you back to full. But you did take a hit.
I took a hit. Yeah.
After that, so I just want to let you know, that cutscene sword thing. I would have felt too bad being and you're down to 1 HP. You know.
Sucked.
That would have sucked. So you're in the forest. Shit just happened. You still have that list. What do you do from here?
Well, it should be later in the day, right? Because we've done
definitely
a
have to
lot
go
of
rest,
stuff
right?
today.
Yeah.
So I think this might be a good time to do a long rest and level up. No, I'm just kidding. But a long rest because we're get into the woods, chill out.
I want my fog club back.
I mean, yeah. Let's do
But you
that.
do level up. Because
Go right now.
I don't want you guys to
Do the things.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
you can at least get your health higher if you want.
All right.
But yeah,
I'll do that.
you guys were it's milestone anyway. But after the Inquisitioners, you guys.
Were you wanting us to fight them for reals?
I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I just knew that you were going to have an encounter with them, and whatever happened beyond that was up to you.
All right, fair enough.
Well, I'm gonna nap. Y'all,
Are you going to take turns with watches?
Yeah, we can take turns. So I'll take the first half of the watch.
I say don't wake me up.
Let the little one sleep.
I think we should maybe talk a little bit before we go to bed. Is that okay?
Head's already down.
We can catch him up when he wakes up. What are you thinking there, Mags? Thanks, by the way, for helping me out there. I've never run into those people. They seem like bad dudes.
Oh yeah, they're not the best. Yeah, you don't seem too shocked, eh?
Well, I don't know what to be shocked about. I know that's people of us. Oh, of this guy?
And then I look exactly like you, and then I look like Megs again.
I'm not that surprised. You seem to handle my appearance and the things that I can do pretty easily. So I knew something was up with you.
He's gone a little bit crazy, eh?
Yeah, that one I'm more shocked about.
Bit more shocked on the guy.
What did you happen to give him?
Well, I don't think it was that. I'm not sure though, but I think it would have been more. I don't think Screech taught him how to become like that. It's pretty
Birdman.
wild.
Wow.
So we gotta have a plan of action for the morning.
Owl boy.
Yeah. So, any of those names ring any bells to you from that list?
No, I don't know any of these people.
I recognized one.
Oh, you
Not
recognized one of the names.
I did. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I'm not sure it's the person we're looking for, but
Oh, who was it?
it's pregnant pause. It's this Answith person. She was a alchemist, apothecary, back from where I'm from, probably. She had some shady business practices that I was not too fond of, and
What do you mean?
well, she didn't take care of the earth. You know, she took a lot dumped what she didn't need, and it didn't do a whole lot of good to the surrounding area. So I don't think she's. I don't think she's the one that's bringing.
About?
Say again.
Is that what you care about?
Oh, of course. I'm part of the Circle of the Land. You know, I'm all about.
What do you mean, Circle of the Land?
Have you ever met a druid?
Is that what you are?
I am indeed.
Now I've met a druid.
Well, there you go. I'm part of the Circle of the Land, and we try to, I don't know, do druid stuff to
Already?
balance the.
Wait, so like, you know other druids like you?
I've met a few. Yeah,
Okay.
I was brought into their circle. Didn't start out this way.
Damn.
With the powers, I was
And they're here in Taichou?
some.
Okay. It's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Kind of like, Are they all like you?
No.
Not as, okay.
None of them are like me.
Oh.
But they can do things like me.
Yeah. They have magic.
Indeed.
Okay. Well, we can, I would be fine with that. How far away is, what's the name of where you're from again?
It's called the. I don't know. I don't know where we are.
The West Bog.
It's called the West Bog.
Okay. Would I know where the West Bog is in relation to where we are?
It's west. It's like on the coast.
Yeah.
Pretty much in like a little like
So
inlet.
it's kind of near Capital?
Not too
Yeah.
far from the capital.
Okay, so I would know about West Bog then.
Yeah, and you would know that it's probably like no one really goes through the mountains because there's you would know just as someone who travels that like people don't go through the mountains because there's dangerous magics there and unknown magics there. So if you went around the mountains, it would probably be about a 2-week journey
Oh, man.
to get to where he is,
Okay, well,
and then like 15 days to get to the
West
capital.
Bog is pretty far. I mean, I'm not opposed to heading that way, I guess, but I don't know if it's the cleanest course of action right now. I mean, I don't mind getting away from here.
Well, it was just a suggestion. I'm not sure it's going to take us where we
Did any of them see
need to
you?
go. The Inquisitioners?
Yeah.
That one surely saw me. But he might not have been paying attention.
Yeah, I'm thinking that this one's more of a liability than thinking that this one's more of a liability than you or I are. Not that we need, I'm not saying get rid of him or anything. I'm more just saying, like, we need to be careful. They're going to be looking for him. I'm fortunate. They're looking for me. But it's a little hard to pin me down, you know what I mean? Can't exactly put up a wanted poster.
Do you have the map up?
I do.
Where are we right now?
You guys are kind of in like the middle of these mountains here, like so there's mountains like all around you.
I see.
So you would have to go south and then go through here.
Oh, yeah.
Or if
That'd
you
be
cut
ways, yeah.
across, it is possible to cut across, but you are risking.
We're going pretty close to the capital.
Oh no, you're risking whatever's in
see.
the mountains.
I see.
And I imagine that none of you have been through the mountains yet.
What type of mountain range are we talking?
Like
Rocky Mountains or like?
Well, here's the thing.
Does anyone live in the mountains? Like, is there any cities or towns or anything? In the
There's no
mountains?
cities or towns in the mountains. The
Are
mountains.
these the mountains made by the Cataclysm?
That's what I was gonna say. Yes. But you have heard that you don't know where in the mountains, but you know that that's where Screech holds her sessions as well.
Okay.
So you know that there's dangerous magics there, based on what people say. But at least some parts of the mountain are habitable enough that like people exist in there. You just don't know to what degree.
Well, I've got a plan. It's a little bit of a solo mission. Maybe it's not a great idea, but you've got legit papers, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could take this list and go talk to some people about it in Dorking. And what I could do is I could just make myself look like you before what happened. Nobody would cause to question or anything.
It's true.
You know, it looked too different. The Inquisitors, if they even did notice you, they would have probably just noticed the green and the vines and everything on you. They wouldn't have noticed, what your facial features would have been like. And so that's a way that without really arousing suspicion, I could have legit papers and go try to do some talking a little bit. So that's something that we could do if we wanted to. I'm thinking about courses of action that can be that are more immediate. Because like the thing is if we go to West Bog and we find this person and they're not the person we're looking for, that's a lot of wasted time. Right, that's like a full month of travel to get back to here where we have a business set up. And so unless you feel really strongly that going there is the right course.
I'm not sure. I don't. Like I said, I don't think she's the one we're looking for. I don't think that she would be involved in necromancy. But if she's an indication, I think the names on that list are all not the best of people. Are you snoring?
I'm sleeping.
I just rolled to see if anything happened. I'm gonna say you guys were able to like, after chatting, get your long rest.
I need to make a watch. You and me are watching, so you can go to bed first. I'll take first watch.
All right.
12 for my perception check.
Yeah, nothing happens during your watch.
All right.
That's the wrong.
I'm rolling for my hit.
Oh, okay.
I figured since I was sleeping.
Oh no, when you do a long rest, you get everything back. You don't have to roll.
I was leveling.
Then never mind. You leveled up. Congrats. Yes. So, nothing happens during the watches.
I won't change my Eldritch Invocations now, but I will want to probably change them. Maybe want to change them, but on the level up. So, but we'll just roll with my old ones for now.
Yeah. So it is morning.
I'm thinking if there's anything I want to do during my watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna like kind of go out and try to just have like some peace of mind and kind of seek guidance from my patron.
Okay. And so is that flavor, or are you?
I mean, if I don't know, I'm just kind of go out and start talking to myself or whatever, and kind of just trying to think about it and trying to talk about what's going on.
Sounds good. I think at some point.
And we can say maybe like at some point, like while I'm kind of talking to my patron, like I kind of like feel the urge to like pull out my blade. And like I kind of focus on it for a while, and then like it starts to just glow and glow and glow, and then it's gone.
I was gonna say,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh, you think it glows, but it turns out it's just like Sova, just chilling around.
And so I don't have a sword right now.
Okay.
And I don't. And Meg's none the wiser. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's the message. And so, unless there's something else you want to send me later.
I don't think that this yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
And so, all right, and I go rest, but I want to talk to them in the morning.
Okay.
Before we like head out, obviously we don't know where we're going.
Do I need to roll for my watch?
Your what?
My watch.
No, nothing happens during the night.
Cool.
Okay, so it is morning now.
Big yawn, big stretch.
Do you want there to still be like a cool scar in your chest, or do you think Sova like totally healed it up?
I think it makes sense for there to be a scar.
Okay.
I think it's like faint, but it's there.
Uh-huh.
I think it's.
But it's like the aesthetic scar, not like the.
Well, okay. It's good to see you. How you feeling?
You know, growing up, when you're in an orphanage, you dream a lot about the world around you. You can't really leave. You're just kind of stuck. Same people, same routine, same everything. And so you only have your mind to get out there. I remember so many nights I guess maybe they were dreams, maybe they weren't. And I would just be soaring. And I would see the world around me, and I actually, in a weird way, I experienced that yesterday when this owl friend of mine, I could see through their eyes. You know,
Weird.
when I when maybe one day you'll meet her. When Joe first took me in, I was still a kid. I'm still a kid now. And she gave me a little owl figurine, good luck charm, you know. And I don't know. You make connections all the time, just to retrospectively put things together. But maybe it all means something. Maybe it doesn't. But
So this has never happened before? Except maybe in your dreams or something like that?
nope.
Okay.
But I'm still here.
I think that there's a connection between magic and dreams.
That's what I think a lot of people want you to believe.
Maybe not. Maybe not like a pure connection. More like, you know, I just am seeing the stuff of fantasy. You know, it's just not natural. Not in a bad way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's a good time to kind of be a little more forthright with each other. We're kind of in the same pot now because those guys are not going to leave us alone. The Inquisition is quite deadly.
And ineffective. I want to point that out. They had no reason to charge me. I need to go complain to a superior. That was not effective work.
They had you pinned for a magic user. They just were a little early
No,
in
yeah.
their execution.
It's
There's a bit of irony there. I want to point that
A
out.
little bit.
yeah, well, it's, I don't know. I'm not going to say better you than me or anything. I just kind of weird. But I think it's, you know, obviously I'm not exactly who I say I am.
Yeah, you're a bird.
No. You saw me yesterday.
I saw a lot of things, but I also overheard you. You're a bird.
No, when the,
Are you my owl?
no, I'm not a bird. When the meteor hit, what I said, would that be how my character would describe it? How would my character describe
I
that?
think the meteor hit because that's kind of the general
Okay.
what people call it.
When the meteor hit, you know, I was just a normal gal in is Taicho, what the heck is capital?
That's his capital, the same name as well.
Yeah, I was just a normal girl in Taicho, and you know, and nothing changed for me. You know, the Taijo was more isolated from the immediate effects of the the actual natural disaster that happened, and so you know, I just kind of kept living out my days, and my hair just started turning gray, and my skin started getting paler and paler, and my eyes became white. And I had a friend who, her hands started glowing like fire. I miss her. But we were trying to get out, and they got me. The Inquisition. They had me locked up for a really long time.
How long?
I don't know, maybe like a year, maybe a little bit less. It's been 3 years. I spent 2 years in Valencia. It's about a year, I guess.
Wow. I don't suppose they treated you very nicely, based on what I know about them.
No, they didn't. And I turned into my true changeling form, revealing a huge scar. And it doesn't look clean. It's like just jagged and just broken. It's all across my left eye. No, they didn't treat me too kindly. And then you see burns just all across one side of my body. but they're not. So we gotta avoid them. Yeah. It didn't surprise me much that they would just stab somebody they thought was like me. And I'm sorry that my actions caused that to happen to you.
I'm here. It's a lot to take in. You know,
I turn back into Max.
I didn't know the Inquisition did quite that. When, after the impact hit, Joe had this great idea. Because people were getting weird real quick. I guess this might be a delayed effect or something, but Joe had this brilliant idea that we needed to make our break-ins messy. We need to make them look like something weird happened. We'd burn random stuff. We would spill strange liquids. We'd make it so like people impacted by the impact were getting rash. So we would divert any attention from the guilds in the town, specifically our guild, and the Inquisition would take over. They would never come looking for us. That wasn't their specialty. So it's list, eh?
Yeah, so you have that list.
Yeah.
Um,
So just one final word as I just say, so we're in it for the long haul now. You're the only two people who know what I am. At least who could tell what I am right now. I suppose it's pretty easy for me to hide. But for right now, you know I'm me. And I won't try to deceive you or anything.
Were you trying to deceive us earlier?
What do you mean?
Well, it's kind of weird to say, like, I won't deceive you now. And if we've been together for
What
like a hot
I
minute...
mean is I'm not going to pretend to, I can be anybody, anywhere. And so what I'm saying is that, if I leave, I'll be leaving for good, but I won't, I won't use my, I'm not going to try to, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
We know.
Okay, so...
We get the sentiment.
Well, we got this list. Are we going back into town?
Well, that was the thing.
Oh,
is
yeah.
We do have some legitimate papers. We have Boggs' legitimate papers. I mean, I have legitimate papers as Mags, too. And they didn't see Mags. This is Mags. Obviously, I have a lot of different personalities. So I could go back in as one of those, and they would be none the wiser. And from what I understand, and I don't know, this could eventually prove to be untrue, but the prying eyes of those who can see magic don't seem to be able to see me as magical when I'm changing forms. And so I feel like I could get in pretty easily and try to get some extra information. I would say that Boggs is kind of a risk because they probably remember him and remember what he looks like. He does look like a magical folk. You're definitely a risk because they were looking for they got a good look at you.
Well, if you're going in, I'm going in.
I wonder if you could maybe keep watch on him with your owl partner there.
Well, the thing is, we need to go to the sheriff's office. I need papers. We can't go anywhere without papers, and I need a new set of papers. Because I doubt any of y'all grabbed my set of papers during my death incident.
Ooh. Seems awfully risky you going back in town.
Yeah, you should not. You can't go back in. If it's up to you, it's up to you. You're free to do what you want, I guess. But I'm not going to go into town with you. That's a death trap. They're going to be
just
looking
funny how
for
you
you.
worded it.
It's a trap.
We can assume by now that the guards at the front saw you and you leave with me. So here's what they do know. Here's what they definitely the Inquisitioners have deduced. Is they've deduced that one of us three is the changeling, or the shapeshifter as they call them. They know that you're magical. They assume probably that you're magical. And so, they would have described a teenager and a half-elf with one of the Inquisitioners leaving town to the Inquisitioners. Oh man, that poor guy. I wonder what... That probably deduced that that it was a changeling who did it right away. Hopefully, otherwise that guy's probably out of a job. And probably dead. So, I don't know. I do think we need more information before we make a decision.
Well, I if what you're saying is true, and that's all great and dandy, I don't think they're going to be letting anybody in the town, no matter what you're looking like. They know there's a shapeshifter. Someone's walking in. They're immediately... They just killed me on the spot.
This is true. You don't have a bad point there. I would just note that I think that...
I'm going to just interrupt briefly because you guys are travelers. You know that this isn't the only town. Like, there are other places you could go to talk to people. It's just his place
maybe
is
a new town is a good idea.
Yeah, because like there's probably towns within a day or so walk. It's just his place is 2 weeks, or I would say about like a week through the mountains, but there's risks with that.
Is there any town? What's the nearest town besides Dorking?
I can tell you in 1 moment.
What's the second nearest town besides Dorking?
I can tell you in 2 moments. 1 second, I have to pull up the thing-a-ling. That's my other map. It is Sayerst, and it's an even smaller town. It's like it's barely on the map, but
that's
don't
the
want
nearest
that.
one, or the
second nearest one.
What's the nearest one? What's the nearest like city the size of Dorking?
Or
larger.
bigger. What's the next biggest city?
Uccle.
Uccle.
How far away is Uccle?
They're both within a day, just in different directions. So one would be like further north, and the other one would be further east.
It'll be easier to get lost in Uccle.
We need a big city. We need
Well, Ucco's not that big. There's not really big cities around this part.
Well, we need a bigger city. We need a city with hustle and a bustle.
That would probably be the remains of the capital, or crossing the border. But crossing the border into Valencia is really bad. It's going to be full of Inquisitioners. If you go south to, God, I wish I remembered the names of my own goddamn cities. Pagiana, that one is less guarded, but you're probably still going to have.
Well, here's my thinking, gentlemen and ladies.
Pagania, sorry.
We have a situation where people are learning magic in secret. Inquisition efforts are now reaching the smaller towns. These people are not dumb. They were able to seek out someone to teach them magic. They know the Inquisition's spreading. They're not going to be around. They're not going to be in these podunk towns.
Well, I mean, sure, but what are you proposing to do?
I would say, like, we either need to... We need to go find a place to get lost. South, maybe? Outside of...
South isn't really a place, that's just a direction.
Yeah.
South would be just towards and around the mountain range. That would get, like, if you wanted to go to Boggs' hometown or to the capital, then you would have to go south first in order to get there. Or you can continue going south and get to the next city-state in about 2 weeks as well. Or it's about a week's journey east to Valencia, but then you also have to deal with the Inquisition.
Right. Let me just put it this way. Every ounce of me wants to not be in Taichou. And on top of that, I've left and I came back, so I'm the fool here, really. But I suppose I'm not willing to leave quite yet. I think there's some greater purpose for me here, and I don't know what it is.
Like in these podunk towns?
You mean in Dorking?
Not in Dorking, just in Taijo.
Okay.
I want to find more people who are doing that magics.
Do you want to
The
venture into the mountains? Maybe there are clues in the areas that
maybe.
screech.
I'm kind of partial towards going towards Yucca. It's a little bit bigger. What would it be compared to Dorking?
Slightly bigger, but not terribly so.
It's a little bit bigger, and I think that we can kind of set up shop there, try to figure out who some of these people might be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's a thieves guild there, but that might be a useful group to get in contact with in order of finding names, because they know people. They're not going to rat on you usually. But what do you guys think?
I mean, imagine the Inquisition. You just you killed a boy. The boy came back, fuck shit up like I do, and they're gonna have this entire part of the country swarmed. If we're gonna go with any place within a day's reach of Dorking is gonna be swarmed. It's a hotbed anywhere around here. We need to start making serious legwork away.
How far is this other place? A day, you said?
The small and the slightly larger town are both a day's journey.
South?
What you got for rations? We're going to have to stop somewhere.
Yeah. The slightly larger one is along the mountain range. The smaller one is south. So the if you would go west to get to the slightly larger than Dorking, and it'd be along the mountain range. South to go to the small one, and it's not quite along the mountain range.
I say let's head to the mountain range. We can.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Okay, you'll get there at around before twilight, but it's going to be like dinner time almost.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you want to do? Is there anything you wanted to do along the way, or are you just going to go straight, beeline it to Yukel?
I mean, I can summon Soba to do scouting.
Yeah. And what are you scouting for?
I'm just trying to see if there are any movements through Inquisition movements.
Okay, roll a perception check. Oh.
That's going to be a 17.
You don't notice any Inquisition movement or travelers necessarily. There's a caravan of people, but not mounted cavalry or anything like that. She does notice a little cabin, like a cottage almost, at some point, but that's about it.
Is the cabin cottage thing near town?
It's along the way. It's off the beaten path.
Okay.
You can avoid it entirely if you choose.
I'm gonna send Soba down to see what the deal is. Yeah, the
Sure
deal
thing.
is at this cottage cabin.
Give me one moment. I imagine you'd kind of just make people pause their journey so you could go within range, or
What I'm imagining is she just is on top of a tree. Looking
okay.
down.
One moment. She sees a quaint little cottage. There's a smoking chimney going on. There's not a lot of movement, but it seems like a single family at most. And they're just getting ready for dinner by the looks of it.
You hungry?
Why wait?
Huh?
Do you want to go ransack that house for
No,
food?
it's saying ransack. We just try.
Oh, and another thing that I forgot to mention. There's these weird. You've never been outside of Taiju, right? Taijo. So
No.
okay. Behind the cabin, you could tell that it's not really native to this place, but there's these weird plants with spikes on them.
Okay. Would I have heard about this kind of thing?
I don't think so, because you're not really like a nature person.
No.
So you just see these weird spiky plants.
Okay. Boggs, I think there's something there you might be able to pick up on. There's something strangely, I'm assuming potentially, who knows? I don't know anything anymore. It could be magical, could be weird. I don't know.
Mayhaps we should check it out.
Yes. What do you think, Mags?
Perfect.
Perfect. I think that's. I think we got we have a 2/3 majority, so
Okay.
it would pass. It would pass in Congress.
All right. If it passes in Congress, it passes here. How are you? What are you gonna do?
So it's dusky, twilighty.
Not quite. It's it's orange sunset time.
Okay. And are they just sitting down? Eating?
They're walking around prepping dinner.
Right.
They're not sitting down to eat, but you can see one of them's standing at the pot and stirring. Another one is dealing.
Are we
with the
right
table.
outside of their? Are we looking in their windows?
Well, Sova is able to see
Okay.
from a tree.
Is there a window near where the vine stuff is at?
It's just in the back, almost like it's a field.
Okay.
I guess, not like a.
So I guess we're gonna circle around so that they couldn't see us, and I'm just Bob, did you ever see anything like this?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it's like a literal field of this stuff.
Yeah,
So, roll a nature check with advantage.
Oh yeah. That means I get to roll twice, yeah?
Yes, and take advantage. You were able to get that.
That would make it a 13.
Okay. You've never seen these before, but you know that they grow a lot in the southern city-state in the desert.
I've never seen these before, but I know they grow a lot in the southern city-state desert.
I love it.
Well, and there's a lot of them, right?
There's a lot of them.
Then there's something happening here to. I'm no botanist, but
Yes, it's quite strange.
um
Can I roll again with one way not? Wait, never mind.
is there anything magical that we're maybe sensing about this?
Can I sense magic?
You'll have to
I can do.
blow a level 1 spell slot for detect magic.
I guess
if you
an
wanna.
Arcana check.
You could do an Arcana check.
It's gonna be a 13.
Doesn't seem magical.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna blow that spell.
The plants are not magical.
Okay. Mags, you ever seen anything like this before?
Have you traveled south at all?
No, I've only gone up to Valencia.
And you're a city girl, so.
Well, I don't know what's going on here, but this.
And just to catch you up, there's a field of these odd plants with spikes in them that are not native to here, but they're native to the deserts in the south.
Okay.
And they're growing freaking wildfire up here.
I'm gonna use my nature knowledge to extract some sort of sample. I don't want to hurt the plant, but I want to take a leaf or a branch or.
You can take a branch. There's no leaves on these.
Okay. The flowers.
Some of them have flowers on it at the very tippy top.
Okay.
Nice purple little flower. And you can tell if you take a branch, it's going to damage it, but you don't know if it's
Are these green? Okay. All right.
I was waiting for it to click.
All right. Yeah. No, I don't know. Yeah. Can I reach the tippy tip?
Yeah,
I'm
you
gonna
can
take.
pluck a flower.
I'm gonna take maybe a couple of flowers
Okay.
to add to my herbalism kit, which I
Okay.
don't ever use.
Fair enough. You can make a little flower crown for yourself or something. But yeah, you stumbled upon a cactus field. And my favorite thing was like Corey being like, "Is it magical?" But anyway,
Are they cactars like dancing around?
Is this on our way to that cabin, or we bypassed that completely?
You're behind the cabin, so right now I didn't make you guys roll stealth checks because like who's gonna be looking in their backyard at their field of cacti?
So wait, they decided they wanted to go check out the cabin? Okay.
Yes, but they decided to check out the cacti behind the cabin instead.
Okay.
And they're just getting ready for dinner. They're doing family stuff.
Okay. Well, we don't have any reason to bother these people.
That's my thinking.
Okay. Well.
So yeah, they have cactus here.
I mean, I'm sure it's a little bit strange, but the thing is I don't think there's reason to really bother people unnecessarily, you know.
Agreed.
What are we doing?
We are discussing the that we don't need to really bother these people. I'm thinking maybe we just keep on our way.
Well, I mean, this is pretty secluded. We could get a nice meal, get a nice rest, go to town in the morning.
We're almost to town. We can just get there and sleep there for the night.
Indeed.
I kind of want to see what's up with these plants.
Well, I mean, I can't very well go to the door and say hello. But surely, you know, if you wanted to introduce yourself as travelers, the two of you could go in and make nice with the family.
Not really my thing. I just want let's get to town. Let's get some rest. We've been traveling all day.
Yeah, we could potentially hang out here.
These people are just trying to live their lives. They don't need us, and
we
present an additional risk for them.
Agreed.
If it is known that these people housed us, that's not a good thing.
You're right. You're 100% right. But we have a list of people.
I really think the family that lives out in the middle of nowhere knows a lot of people.
No, but they could be. Looking at those, do we notice any names that might be like Southern influenced names by chance?
That's actually a good question. A majority of them are from the city-state.
Okay.
I think the only ones that are outsiders would be
You mean capital when you said city state, or do you mean Taichung?
Taijo, like
Okay.
in general.
Okay.
I think the only one. Let me see which one. Siley is probably the only name that sounds not from around here.
Okay.
And Nor's not a common name,
Okay.
but you don't know the origins of that.
Okay. I'm just saying, a couple of these names I've never seen before in my life. There's something weird happening here. At the very least, we get some shut-eye.
Here or what do you? What do
I'm
you
just
mean?
saying, we just try to figure out what's going. There's something. This. We're north of the capital, right?
You are east of the
East.
capital.
Okay.
So, you guys technically are very similar latitude
Mhm.
as the capital, but there's a huge.
Mountain
Right.
range.
There's these people are pretty far away from home.
What do you mean?
No, I think this is their home.
Yeah.
No. But where they're from.
Oh, the people on the list.
No, these people living here in this cabin.
Oh,
Wait, what makes you think
What?
that?
The plants.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I think they're just cultivating.
lots of weird stuff is happening. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where these cacti came from, and it doesn't affect me in the slightest. Or these plants, sorry, I wouldn't
Yeah.
call them cactus. What good can come of us approaching these people and talking to them?
You hear the old expression, curiosity got the cat dinner?
No, that's not.
No, that's not how it goes. It's
Where did you learn
curiosity
that?
killed the cat.
No, because they got 9 lives. So even if they fail, they still have opportunity.
I turn around and start walking away.
I go knock on the door.
Okay. There's
Hide in the
a.
cactus bush.
I
guess.
stop walking away, but I'm not going, and I'm just kind of like,
Okay.
Picard.
Yeah. Well, which one is it? This Picard or this Picard?
This Picard and this Picard.
Anyway. Yes, memes are beautiful. So, a kind-looking woman answers the door. She looks, human. Nothing odd about her.
Stab her.
Yeah, I'm about to murder Hobo
Oh no,
in
I'm just
this.
saying, I'm
She
just
looks
like,
human.
I'm
Stab
just
her.
letting you know that's nothing
Yeah.
amiss about this particular person from what you can see. She's just hello.
Hi, my name's Tomas, and I have a compatriot over here. We're traveling.
Oh, great, he's saying we.
Okay, we're a traveling band. We're going to town. It's getting pretty late. We're just came across this cabin. Wonder if you had a couple bites to eat that we could take with us on the road.
Sorry, it's just funny to me because, can you imagine, now, oh yeah, someone just knocking on your apartment and be like, hey, can we have some food? But,
Cup of sugar.
What?
Cup of sugar. I mean,
Yeah,
different
that
pleasantries.
too. You're right.
What race are they? Were we able to tell?
Human.
Human.
Okay.
And she goes, well, would you like to stay for dinner?
Look, I'm sorry. We were just walking and we just smelled this gorgeous aroma, and then we couldn't help it. Look at all these plants in the back. I haven't seen nothing
Oh.
like it.
Yeah, my husband likes to grow those. They make a weird soup. He likes it, but none of us, the kids, don't like it either. But yeah, that's his thing. I guess it's it's from where I'm from, so he likes to take over the culture of it a little bit, as matrimony does. So.
Gotcha. Lily, come on, let's go get a bite to eat.
Does she come?
Reluctantly.
Uh-huh.
Around the tree, I turn myself into a normal Taicho looking woman, not too much older than him.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Wait, one more. Okay. So she invites the two of you inside. It's a very small, very quaint, homey little cottage in the middle of nowhere. And there's this eccentric-looking guy. He kind of he has stringy long hair, and it's almost weird that someone so Snapey managed to get a wife that's just
Wait, we're in the presence of Alan Rickman? Alan Rickman can get anybody.
Yeah, but we're talking about Snape Alan Rickman, not Alan Rickman.
You just need
Not
a
Hans
haircut.
Gruber, is what you're saying.
I haven't seen that.
Die hard.
Cool.
Sorry.
Anyways,
Wrap it up.
let's keep going.
But anyway, so it's weird that someone's so weird and just very. He looks almost antisocial, but he's trying to be social.
Oh, so
And
it's an
she's just
antisocial social club.
Pretty much, but she's people. I love people. So she's clearly the chatty one of the two of them. And then two little kids, both of them unfortunately look more like him than her. Pop their head out, and yeah, they got a weird. They've got a weird eyebrow thing where it's their eyebrows a little too low for their head, just like his. So
Talking some
where it's.
Cro-Magnon.
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah. Where it's not they're not ugly kids, but they're just off-looking kids.
Mhm.
They're not the cutest. They're not going to be the Gerber babies.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Mom, who's that?" And
Hi.
she motions to the two of you, and she goes, "This is. Did you give your name?"
Tomas.
Tomas, yes. And Lily. They are travelers. You're in a band.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, "Play for us!" Right immediately. They want to see, they want to see what you got.
You ready, Lily? Want to do this?
No.
Sorry, Lily. It's been a long day. She's feeling a little tired. But yeah, I'd love to do a little ditty later.
Alright, and the kids are disappointed, but the mom's like, no, they're tired, we gotta be polite. Robert, why don't you come over here, shake their hands, all that fun stuff. And he
Sorry,
awkwardly-
was it Robert?
Robert.
Robert,
He,
nice to meet you.
Shakes your hand. He reaches out to shake your hand. Do you shake it? Okay, so he does that. And he's like, okay, can I go back to cooking? like he's like asking his wife for permission almost because he doesn't know if like if
Oh,
it's rude
we don't
or
want
not.
we don't want to be interrupting anything. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And he turns and just starts making his stew some more. And she turns and to the kids and goes, "All right, keep setting the table, you two." And then they scurry off and set the table. And she goes, "So, where are you from?"
Oh, we're from the capital. We figured, in these weird trying times, just to bring some light to the the outer regions outside of capital. I mean, because the capital just flourishing with art and activity. You don't really see it out here that much.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in a farm a bit north of the capital. I know what it was like to grow up and not have a lot of things to bring light to your life during a trying time. So Lily and I met a couple of years ago and figured bring our talents to the world.
And just imagine while your friendly Lily is like exactly Eric's expression, like he's not even looking. And she goes, "That is so nice of you. That is so nice." And she's looking at you and she's like, "That is so nice." Like almost like mothering, like she's used to having to do this with her husband. So she's like, "It is so nice," and trying to get you to smile and all that fun stuff.
So, you know a lot of people around these parts? You seem like somebody who has a lot of friends.
Yeah, I like to, go around, take a lot
I
of
don't have my
walks.
Goryeo accent right now, by the way.
Mm.
Sorry.
So she's like, "Yeah, I like to go for walks. I like to take the kids traveling. We go, to the foot of the mountains sometimes, pick some flowers. My husband, he only goes out about like once a month. He's a very homebody. He stays mostly tending the cactus field."
I used to be like that too. Then I kind of. Sometimes people change a little bit. I had a question. We had some people who specifically requested our services, and I wanted. If I showed you a list of names, would you be able to help us find those people, perhaps?
Robert is on the list.
Besides Robert, we say the names.
She goes, "Well, possibly. I can't say that I know everyone around here, but I could try."
Yeah, that'd be great. Give the list of names without Robert.
How are we getting the name off?
What do you mean? I say the name.
Oh,
so
you're
one
saying.
person we're looking for is Mary Waiari. It's something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Oh, okay.
Okay. She goes, "Oh, yes, she's an absolute sweetheart. Very tired these days, though. I feel bad for her. I don't really get to see her as much as I used to. But she lives, her cabin's a bit bigger than ours, but she's also off the beaten path just like us. And she's about, I don't know, day and a half north of us."
Okay. And so we go through all the names. Does she know anybody else?
She doesn't know, give me 1 second. There is one, sorry. Bruna. She goes, "Oh, yeah, she used to be friends with my husband."
Oh, sorry to hear that. They must have had a tryst or something.
I fucking punch him. I'm gonna roll for damage.
Why are you hitting me?
That's only an 8, so I probably missed.
Yeah.
But I still
Yeah.
just implied that her husband is cheating on her.
No,
But
just like
I didn't say that out loud. But
I'm just like, what? People fight friends fight all the time, Lordy.
you don't understand the meaning of the word tryst in the context of relationships. All this under my breath at player, not at the
And
game.
she just like, you're young and stupid, so she's been around kids enough to not be too offended.
To be fair, I do have a 16 intelligence.
But 0 wisdom.
Actually, 16 wisdom. That's beside the point.
Anyway. But
So
yeah.
you don't travel too much, do you?
I do travel in the local area, but not far from here. I don't think I've ever
So
left the circle of the mountains.
If you had much experience with the Inquisition, then no.
And her face kind of like,
Inside check.
okay.
I actually hit you now.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, keep going. Keep
Oh.
going. Sorry.
And she goes, we don't like them. And she leaves it at that. Like she actually kind of like closes up a little bit at that.
I put my hand on her shoulder and I say, "Hey, we've got a friend who's, through no fault of his own, has got a little magic. We just trying to avoid the Inquisition. Do you mind if we invite him in as well?"
And like as soon as she's like, "Yeah."
Okay.
She doesn't even like.
All right, we'll go get Boggs.
Wait, she does mind? She doesn't mind.
Oh, she doesn't mind.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
It's like, yeah, we weren't trying to be rude, but he's He looks a little strange.
He's a sight to behold. It's not a big deal. You know, he's just a normal guy, half elf. But, you know, some people don't react kindly to people who have been marred by by what happened.
And she goes, no, our door's always open for all kinds of good folk.
Well, thank you.
And she says, like, good folk, like, very strongly, like, you know, because she's also putting her foot down that if there's anything else you're hiding, that if she decides that you're not good folk,
Oh, yeah.
she is going to kick, you know.
Yeah, so we get Boggs and bring him in.
I come in.
This is, and say all the names.
And,
Hello, my name is Bogris.
yeah, and she actually reaches out to shake your hand. She's like, do you have, not to be rude, but do you have...
Of course.
And she kind of, like, awkwardly... She isn't quite sure, like, how firm your hand is going to be, so she doesn't want to just squish your seaweed.
She certainly
Yeah.
squishes it, and it's a little squishy.
And she's like,
It's probably a little
I'm
wet
really
too.
sorry. Like, and she like sheepishly like wipes her hand off on the thing. The kids, I don't think the kids have ever seen any magical folk. Like not up close and
Little do they know.
yeah. But they're like, what is that? Like very embarrassing. Like, does it talk? And they're just wide-eyed looking at you like.
I'm embarrassed.
I use my changeling ability just in my like voice to try to make a very beautiful singing voice and just start projecting some sort of very beautiful melody.
Okay. Roll a performance check.
Can I have advantage because I'm trying really hard to have that beautiful voice?
Sure, why not?
That's just a 17.
Okay, it's still solid. You're not like singing at the opera, but you're
I
definitely
mean,
like
10 is normal human, right? So 17's pretty good. But no, you're fine. I wasn't saying anything about your description. I was more saying like not the worst. But anyways.
But yeah, you definitely are like off-Broadway material,
Yay!
but not like Broadway material.
Woo!
So the kids are loving it, and like it's just kind of like that. But then as soon as you're done singing, it's back to Boggs.
I just, I keep singing to the kids for a while. All 4 songs, and who knows. Then I just do another one. I go back to
Coming
the
round.
And then
the wheels
finally.
on the bus go round and round. Do you guys know any songs? There we go.
And they sing awfully. Like, they are singing their hearts out, but...
I'll sing along. Make them sound a little prettier.
Sounds good. And so finally, the dad is like, all right, it's time to go. Let's go. It's eating time. We got some cactus soup. And he says that, like, so proudly, and the kids are like, because they're tired of cactus soup. And, he's got all the plates set out. It's family style. You serve yourselves. But it's good. It's a lot of vegetarian-based things. You don't see any meat, but there's like still heavier foods like rice to fill the belly.
It was Robin, right?
And he goes, yes.
This is absolutely delicious. So I was explaining to your wife over there. I had a bit of a green thumb growing up. Grew up on a farm. I've never seen anything like this. How are you able to get this to grow in this climate?
Well, my wife brought a couple of cacti from where she was when she moved up here. And we kept the few that she had very safe, and then I found out what the components of the soil was in the little pots that she brought them in, and I did my best to make fertile land for it. Behind.
Really impressive, I have to say. I didn't know anything like this would flourish up here, but...
Well, it does certainly take up a lot of my time, but it's a labor of love.
I can tell both in what you have outside and in this beautiful, beautiful soup.
Thank you. Make are you drinking the soup?
Yeah.
Okay, make a constitution check.
Uh-oh.
All of us?
Whoever is drinking.
Oh, drink. Like, I'm eating the stuff in the soup, but is drinking the soup the same thing?
Oh, just eating the soup.
Okay.
17.
Okay.
20.
Okay, and Bob's?
9.
Okay. It tastes fucking awful. But you two are able to hide your disgust if you would like to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would like it. Do you think Boggs would like this earthy
I don't
soup.
I don't think he would find it repulsive. He probably would recognize that it's not what he would want.
Mm-hmm.
He would recognize that it doesn't taste like mom's soup used to taste like, but
Okay.
I don't think he
So-
would barf or anything.
Okay, so had you been one of them, you probably would have like barfed. But I think just because of what you're made up of,
Mhm.
you're able to kind of like, oh, okay,
I've eaten worse.
yeah.
Can I like kind of just like with my eyes kind of look around to see if there's anything that like I would be able to identify as like magic?
Roll a perception check.
That one, so no, I don't see anything.
Does anyone else want to?
It's going to be a 19.
And Jesus, you are not doing well today.
Is that another
but-
that one?
No, it's a 7, but it's still.
10 with my
Yeah.
modifier.
Well, you would
So-
notice there's nothing
There's
like
walls.
yeah, there's nothing overtly magical.
Alright.
But you notice that there's a couple of bowls of fruit or like baskets of fruit that are hanging from hooks or like are hanging from the ceiling, kind of like a hanging garden type thing. But what's weird about it is they're not exactly flourishing, and they're almost like in varying states of decay, not smelly decay, but like just getting to the point where they probably should, fresh to getting to the point where they should not be in the house anymore. But that's about that.
So Robert, outside of like all this amazing work that you're doing, what else do you do in your spare time?
I mean, I tend to the fields. Motions to the gestures to the fruit, and he goes this. I have to make sure the fields get the proper nutrients. Some people like to buy the cacti, not to eat, and he looks sad when they're, but as a exotic plant. So that, and I watch after the kids, take care of the house.
Wonderful. Well, I mean, this and your hospitality is unmatched. I cannot thank you enough for this.
And he like awkwardly smiles, and he's like, well, friends are few and far between in these days. So we like to give hospitality, especially to those who probably do not find it so often. And he's like looking at you, Boggs, when he says that.
Yeah.
I meet his gaze and nod.
Life post impact has been.
I'd love for you, Robert, to just take me for a tour of these fields and kind of just describe to me what's in the soil.
And he like awkwardly shrugs his shoulder up, and he's like, well, I can't give away my secrets, it's kind of how I make a living.
Oh, I don't mean that in a negative way or anything. I was more just interested in just kind of walking around the field and talking for a little bit.
When he said secrets, was it like a joke kind of thing, or was he actually being serious?
Well, he's actually being serious that he doesn't want to give out the exact components of the soil because he's the only person in this area that can make these grow around here. So, he's like, he looks to his wife, unsure, and she's like, no, go, like, be social, have fun. And, so after dinner, he invites you to take a stroll in the fields with him. Do you two go with them?
I definitely go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Hey, Robert. We get out, we talk for a little bit, maybe make some awkward small talk.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, I'm in my Taijo accent right now. I totally understand what you're doing here. It doesn't seem like you're doing anything wrong. I am not a rat or anything like that. But I just noticed that this is it's pretty clear that there's some magic stuff going on here. And, I'm not trying to out you or anything. Does he react in any particular way?
He's looking more uncomfortable than usual, but he's like not stopping you.
But what I know, what I do know, is that somehow, just through pure coincidence, I happen to know where you learned some of your magics from.
Are they okay?
Who?
The knock. Are they okay?
They're fine.
They're okay. They're okay. We're friends with them. Don't worry.
And he actually okay.
But we're looking for a particular person who learned some magic from Knock. They're using it for nefarious things. And so the issue is that so many people come in and out of the door that they have trouble keeping track of who's who. And so right now we're kind of just looking through and trying to figure out, like who, who might be this person.
And he studies like I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just.
No. We know
reveals.
we know that you're not doing anything wrong. We can tell. We're not worried about you. But if we were able to talk to you about a couple people, and maybe just hear from you, maybe anything extra that you might know about them, or maybe where they are, or what kind of magic they're interested in.
Yeah.
That kind of thing could be very useful for us.
Pull out the list. I mean, your wife pointed out Mary here and Bruna, who you had that tryst with.
So he smiles at Mary because he's very fond. It seems like he's fond of Mary. Not in a fair way, but just oh yeah, Mary's the best. I love her.
Yeah.
But when you mentioned Bruna, he closes up a bit.
Everything right? All right between you and Bruna?
And he just lets out a heavy sigh and goes, well, she would always put down on my work. She would not approve of me trying to experiment with what I learn. Because he gestures to the field. He goes, I learned to do this through what I learned from Knock, but none of these are exact spells from what Knock taught me.
Yeah,
these are things
you
I
grew over time.
adapted. So she did not approve of me manipulating their spells to do new things.
What did Bruna like to do? Why did she go to the Knock?
Well, she wanted to learn magic too.
Yeah.
All of us really want to normalize magic, regardless of whether we want to use it or not. It's it has its uses here. I'm able to take what used to be 2 cacti from a foreign land that just grew inside of our house and turn it into a whole field, and it not only gives us great food and a stable income, but it reminds my wife of home.
So no, we're not here to question you about using magic or make you feel bad or anything like that. We're all of us have at least a little bit of magic, that we can do. So we're definitely not trying to stigmatize or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
What we're really just interested in is I'm just trying to get to the bottom of these people who are practicing really dangerous magic, and trying to figure out where they're at, just trying to help stop them from practicing it. Because for multiple reasons, I mean, from that perspective of wanting to normalize magic, people who are practicing dangerous magic and using it for, frankly, evil purposes, they give everyone else who uses magic a bad name. And on top of that, of course, they're just doing something wrong. And you got to stop people who are doing things that are wrong.
He thinks for a while and he goes, I only knew these people for a weekend at a time, and you can't tell who someone is just by, so I could tell you what I know, but I can't confidently say one would definitely use magic for bad reasons.
That'd be hard.
Looking for.
That'd be hard to discern.
I think it's more, we're interested in finding these people and just kind of checking up on them a little bit. We don't want to make any assumptions about it. It's a long list, and we know that it's presumably only 1, maybe 2 bad apples out of this list. Can you just describe to me the kind of people that would be at these kind of meetings? Were they mostly human?
It was everyone.
Okay.
Some people looking, well, not like him, but you have dragon people and cat people sometimes, and bird people like Screech.
Yeah.
And bird people not like
and
Screech.
I'm looking at Mags.
And so
was there anyone interested in a type of magic that was peculiar to you?
And he goes, well, in all honesty, all magic is peculiar to me.
But you seem to be interested in magic that brings life, right? You want to want to grow things with your magic. Was anyone interested in maybe a different path?
Well, he goes, actually, my magic is more cyclical than that. Because the magic I use causes decay.
Mhm.
You know, if, you saw the fruit. I practice making it age quicker, so I can have more nutrients for the soil at a quicker rate.
Sure, yeah.
So
That makes sense.
it gives life, but I also take it.
Did anybody else learn this kind of magic?
Well, yes, everyone at our meeting
Mhm.
learned healing magic. So what I did was I reversed it.
Do you know anybody who also attempted to reverse it?
Not that I know of.
Mhm.
We were there to learn everything that Screech had to give us, and what people did in the month in between was their own business.
So yeah, not to be too inquisitive, just two more questions. So you know the whereabouts of just two of these people. Could we get the general directions to them, so we could
Oh,
kind of talk to them?
Well, the wife gave
Oh,
the directions.
to both of them. Okay.
No. What I'm saying is, like, the wife. You only asked the wife about that, so he goes, "Well, who are you talking about?"
I showed him.
Remember,
him.
we already referenced Mariah and Bruna.
Yeah.
Right,
Mary
but
and Bruna.
that was you referenced them, but you didn't give the full list to him.
I'm sorry. I thought I said I did. I'm like, yeah, I have this list.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My mistake. But he knows where a good few of them are in general directions.
Okay.
So he knows that Answith is just south of the capital. He doesn't know where Hellmayer is.
Does he know Helmer?
Well, they were all in the group together.
Oh,
at
these
some
are
point.
all in the same group. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
So he doesn't know where Hellmayer is, but he knows that she was from the capital, but he doesn't know where she is now.
Okay.
Fenry lives by the mountains, not too far from here.
Okay.
You know where Mary was. He knows that Nora is from the capital. But that's all he knows.
Okay.
What does she look like?
And he thinks for a little while, and he goes, "Well, she was already good at magic before. She was actually one of the best out of all of us. I was very envious of her. She, and he thinks, and he's like, I can't remember exactly what she looks like, but I remember she was a very strong person for her age."
Just out of game. Do I understand that it's like physically strong, or what do you mean by strong?
Willfully, like very strong-willed and with purpose.
Okay. And can we get physical descriptions of all of them?
We
don't. Why don't we? That can be something we do out of game, like if you want or whatever.
Yeah, I think
give
that.
a quick one sentence for all of them.
Yeah.
Robin, so two things that.
I just said last two things. Go ahead. I was just joking because it's kind of funny. I was like, last two things. And you're like, last two things.
Yeah, really, last two
Boggs is gonna be like, last two things.
Just one more thing.
No,
Yes,
this magic
Jackie
that you're doing, you should, if you ever come across Knock again, let them know. I think it's important to keep this kind of stuff documented. So, that's one. Two, it should be pretty clear at this point that the Inquisition is after us.
And he goes, "What do you mean?"
What?
He's like, "What?"
Oh yeah, the Inquisition is after us.
Now he goes like, "What are you talking about?"
You're gonna start.
Clench my fist.
You're gonna start hearing news from Dorking, probably
About what?
next couple days. The magic that we're trying to find, we encountered it in Dorking, and we are being pinned for that magic. That's how we came across the Knock, and all this.
And the Inquisition is after you specifically now.
Specifically, actually, just me. You need to tell them what you need to tell them, whatever you need to do to keep your family safe. We don't want to put them in any more danger than we already have.
Yeah, he actually is a little annoyed at you, but like he understands why you did what you did.
Mhm.
And he goes, I don't mean to be rude, but
You're not.
you can't stay the night, and I'm sorry for that. But we can give you food. on
That'd be
your way.
wonderful.
Was there another thing?
Could I have a cactus?
And he goes, yes.
What's the going price?
2 GP.
Fucking cheap.
Okay, I give him 2 gold.
They're exotic cacti!
A gold piece is like what a worker makes in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I give it to him though.
they're
I was
exotic
expecting it to be like 5 silver, which is still a lot of money. But that's fine. I give him that to pay for the cactus.
He goes, no, it's a gift from one
I
friend to
already
another.
erased it off of my character sheet.
Well, you find 2 GP on the ground.
It's for your trouble. Buy your family some steak. For the love of God.
God damn it. But yeah, I think this will be a good place to stop off. You guys will have enough rations for, say, a week. He gives you.
Oh my
Cool.
god, a week of cactus soup.
You have a week of cactus soup. All right. So that was a big session.
Oh yeah.
So thoughts?
I'm tired.
Yeah, that was a long day. Shit, I died.
Yup.
Came back.
I did.
Better than ever.
Something like it. Thank you for that, by the way.
No problem. I was like, I really wanted to be dramatic.
Well, I always just feel like with I love specializing in subclasses, but I always felt it strange, especially with fighters and rogues, that you can just immediately just have magic.
Mhm.
And while it's very this campaign you would need to have narrative reasons for being magical, but just in general, it's I can now start just swinging slinging out a bunch of invocation spells.
I almost what I put in the notes for myself to make you roll a d12 before that stuff happened to see if things happened beforehand, but I forgot, and when you got out of the sewers, I'm like, fuck. Could have had more flavor on that. Because I could imagine some of it was something small, you accidentally static shock yourself for 1d4 damage, and would Franz trying to keep that quiet? Would he pretend it didn't happen or something like that? So
Yeah.
No, he's a
And I
drama
think-
queen. He would have screeched.
Yeah, I think one of the things to remember about the rogues and other with the spellcasting is that not all spellcasting is innate, the spellcasting we just witnessed, and basically everyone who gets trained by Nock are wizards in a sense. They're learning the verbal somatic components and material components that make up making something magical happen. And so you can just imagine that in that case someone's just teaching your rogue how to do those skills or something along those lines, as opposed to a sorcerer who's got their magic coming from within, or a warlock who's got it bestowed upon them from something else.
Hatred. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, but what I always found interesting is it's just that that level jump. So unless you you built your character up to that point, I'm learning this stuff, or it's innate, or whatever it might be. That level jump is very dramatic for rogue and fighter.
let me pull up my questions. Does anyone have questions before I get into them?
Anybody on the stream? Anybody have questions?
No.
I can check.
Are we in the chat room already? Or
We're in the chat room, so if anyone has questions they can ask, but I can look and see how we're doing in terms of viewership. Just quickly.
1?
2?
Hey, we got people!
Hello.
Hey.
Beautiful.
One of them might be me.
Let me pull up the questions. I'm sorry?
So one of them might be me. I had it on my phone earlier.
So especially with that quote unquote cutscene that I did, because in my head I'm just I want this to be dramatic, and I don't want people to try and can I do a perception check and kind of break that narrative. So what are your thoughts on cutscenes in D&D?
I think depending on how they're used, I think they're very important. I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. And it's literally 2 minutes of gameplay for every 7 minutes of a cutscene.
So Metal Gear Solid Disney.
Yeah, but at least Metal Gear Solid is a little bit more palatable, and that's saying a lot. Yeah, it's so that's in my mind a lot. Is just thinking about cutscenes and what it means for what it means for a narrative. And I think it's like that moment needed to happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's at the goodwill of the DM to handle them appropriately.
It brings up a good question about, because I mean, like, you know, narrative in video games doesn't necessarily have to come from a cutscene. It's one way of doing it. And you know, maybe a better, sort of more sophisticated way is to unfold that narrative while the player is still sort of in control as much as a game can be. Video games, the designer has most of the control, right? You are sort of you're moving your character through, but you are
It's a closed system.
It's a closed system. You're constrained by whatever the game designer wants to happen. In D&D, that's not true. So I wonder what I'm trying to get at is would there be a way for that sort of cutscene to happen, but still sort of be interactive? You know, not necessarily be everyone sitting and listening to the story. And I'm not sure it could happen because we'd probably find a way to fuck it up.
Well, no, I actually tried to include some of the player input by going like, what are your thoughts? Because like I couldn't let you guys like really act because it's like bullet time.
Mhm.
But it kind of backfired because like, oh, what are your thoughts? Oh shit part 2, I'm behind a dumpster. Like, so it didn't really pan out the way that I was hoping for, because I was like trying to like let you guys have your thoughts and be like, oh my god, as soon as I'm able to do something, I'm gonna do it. So it's, as always, the balance is tough, but I do. Oh god.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was gonna wait till you finished.
I was gonna say, I do believe that players being in control does make for the best storytelling.
Yeah.
It's just when something so poignant like that, like where we had to like dramatically reveal.
Yeah.
But then you also have like a really like tough conversation where you guys were like sharing your backstories, and that was essentially almost a cutscene in a way.
True. Yeah.
But they were interacting with one another, whereas just because I'm the DM, it's a different level of storytelling.
Yeah, that's interesting. What do you think about like the equivalent of QuickTime events in your cutscene? You know, where
I would really love.
you're like,
to
Eric, roll a perception or whatever. Dodge.
Oh, you this would actually be good to bring up during your campaign where they failed like exiting.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be a good conversation point.
Oh yeah. Okay. So in my campaign, like we had a thing where basically after they killed the big baddie in a cave, for magical reasons the cave started falling apart because the magic connecting the cave and creating it was disturbed. And so then they had to get out of the cave. And so what I had 6, so there's 6 people, and I had 6 checks. And once you make one of the checks, you can't make another one. And so like the first check was like an Arcana check, which was like intelligence. It goes through like most of the different attributes that are on the thing. And then the last 2, then after the 6, there was 2 more checks, which were a strength check to try to swim out. Because like basically what it was is it used to be this place where water was flowing out of a cave, like uphill, and then into a swamp, and then but the magic was obviously got disturbed and it started crumbling. And so the players, I had like different contingencies based on how much they succeeded or failed at the various skills. And in their case, they failed 4 out of the 6. And so that meant that when they were trying to swim out, it was much more difficult, and most of them failed. Only one character succeeded in like getting all the way through with the last 2, and she was able to pull out the rest, but they were all unconscious. And the consequence of them failing the skill check was that one of their characters was kidnapped by kobolds.
Oh wow.
Like while they were unconscious, because like no one was there to guard them or anything. They were just unconscious in a swamp, and you know, bad things happen when you're unconscious in a swamp.
Boggs knows that best.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I think that something like that would be a good quick time.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a little bit of difference because like you definitely had sort of this like particular event in mind. This thing had to happen in this way. So, like, you couldn't necessarily let Franz, escape the neck rope or whatever.
I was just trying to really like make it clear that these guys were like bad people, and I feel like putting like a rope on someone while they're already shackled, like just the overkill, really drove it home.
So we have to have a question.
We actually have a
Oh
question.
yay!
For embellishing narrative, should the GM embellish additional player actions after they do a roll, or leave it entirely up to the player no matter how little they describe their action?
I feel that's pointed towards me.
Okay.
Would you like to answer that?
No. I don't describe my actions very much or very well.
I feel like the player describes what they intend to do, and then the dice and the DM describe how it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if I say something like, I jump on the table and then double hand over and swing up at the thing that's like, let's say it's up, so it's like too high up, and I have to make an acrobatics check and then an attack roll, and I fail my acrobatics check. Well, I described what I intended to do, but the DM is going to describe what actually happens, which is I slip on the table, or I'm not able to catch my grip and I fall down. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. That's kind of how I imagine.
But that already starts off as embellished. So like if you say like, because you naturally give like more
I'm a
description.
DM, so
Yeah. Whereas someone goes like, oh, I try and hit the chandelier with my sword, and it's like, all right, like, are you aiming to cut it down? Are you aiming to make it shake to, like, so I feel like it's up to the DM to try and encourage more detail. But in the end, is the one that has to give more detail if the player chooses not to, or just, can't think of flavor in that moment.
Yeah, I think, like, one way the DM kind of steps in is, like, especially on, like, crit fails. Like, I feel like that's definitely in the realm of the DM to like, okay, now I get to control the action because like it's out of the player's hands in a way.
Mm-hmm. That leads me to a question where if you get a nat 20, I'd like to try to like, on like a cool thing, like oh, choose an extra action, or with when you get the 10 to 12 with the D12. But when you get a 1, I get to, call that out. But somehow when the NPCs roll a nat 1, it's not in the player's realm to describe an unfortunate thing, which I think I want to try and do now. If I get to dictate what happens in your crit fails, maybe you should dictate what happens in the NPC crit fails.
Maybe.
Flavor like that.
Yeah. I think that would be interesting. I think the thing is you don't want to give us too much power. Players will naturally run away with it, right? Like, he rolled on that 1 on my sacred flame. The flame pushes him off the cliff. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
God.
But I think like being able to like describe like how like you are dodging an action, or I think those are potentially cool moments that we don't often like really elaborate on.
Now my question is, when you don't elaborate on it, is it because you're not envisioning the action and you're just thinking of dice and playing, or you're envisioning it but you're just not describing it?
Play scholars weighing in on the crit fails. I think I agree with you. I think sort of the neutral position of the DM makes them better equipped to deal with that kind of stuff. Oh my god, you guys are so talkative today.
Yay.
It's awesome.
Woo!
So, I really want to take Leo Voice's second question, but I want to note for Play Scholar, one of the interesting things about the rules of D&D is that crit fails are, like the nat 1s are actually not part of the rules as written. Like, we always assume like a nat 1, something extra bad happens, but in reality, you're just supposed to add your modifier. Like, that's the actual rules as written. And same thing with nat 20s, that's just kind of, everyone does it. Maybe it's because of Critical Role, where that's a very powerful influence. But I love the second question.
Yeah.
Where do you guys stand? Where do you guys stand on gamifying tabletop RPGs, moving from a narrative style to gaming-inspired modern games, Diablo, Murder Hobos, for example? The interesting thing I find about this question is I think we have this idea of D&D as this very narrative-based game, but that, like, historically speaking, that's actually not the history of the game. It comes out of the war game tradition, which is very non-narrative based. Like when Gary Gygax made D&D 1.1 or 1.0, it was literally just your characters in a dungeon. It's like we're taking the rules of these war games that we love, and we're it's literally just a game. And so we're taking the rules of this game we love, and we're just gonna have you. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for half a second because I'm trying to read the chat.
It's like a simulation, right? Like the idea is to simulate
exactly. And so all players back in the day were just murder hobos. Like that was the way the game was intended, and it's kind of turned into something else. And so it's interesting, just your question, because it comes from the perspective of the narrative style being like the tradition or the standard, and then the gaming-inspired modern games murder hobo thing being like the extension because of video games. When in reality, it's kind of different than that. It's just kind of like, I guess they're just different ways of playing the games. So it's definitely supposed to be gamified in terms of the tradition, but I think as more people get into D&D, it becomes less about the gaminess. And maybe again, kind of think of our cyclical conversation here, Critical Role has probably a big influence on that because that's a bunch of people who are professional storytellers trying to tell the story.
Yeah, like I think we're all PhD students in English. Yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with how we're approaching this, or why we're approaching this as a collaborative storytelling experience. I mean, we played for 2.5 hours today, and we had one round of combat. Well, many rounds of combat. We had one session of combat. That's all we did. There's so many questions popping up. But to go back to the gamifying tabletop questions, I mean, D&D has a very robust combat system, and you could design entire campaigns around just being testing the limits of combat. And I think those are very valid ways to approach this game. I just think just most common day, maybe it's all the various podcasts that are popping up and using it as a storytelling or an improv medium. I lost my train of thought too.
It's changed the way that the game is played in a lot of campaigns.
I think it really just depends on who your players are. Sort of what Corey was saying. I have friends that are interested in playing, but they don't really want to do the role playing. So I think they would be very much interested in just sort of playing it like a game. Tell me what I do. All right, I roll my dice for the sword, attack. How does it do? Do I kill the guy? And I think sort of leaning on that as a crutch could easily get them into the storytelling aspect. I think they both sort of obviously exist side by side, but kind of layer on top of each other as well.
I mean, there's so many mechanics like we're hardly touching on. Like we got a little survival-y today, but not even really. We haven't touched exhaustion or any of that. We're not doing a lot of.
I really should have made you exhausted after that burst of energy.
One of my favorite things about early D&D in regards to survival is that in early D&D, the whole survival section of it was actually just based on a different game. And the D&D rules said, go buy this game to do the survival parts. Or there's some survival board game that they all like playing. Just play that in between the dungeons, which is really funny. As for a great way to learn more about early D&D, I'd recommend Matt Colville has a series where he interviews DMs, and he interviewed Jim Murphy, who has been playing D&D since the late 70s, and Jim Murphy talks about how the game has evolved and talks about the early days a lot, and that's how I know I don't just randomly know this stuff, and so that's a good YouTube video to watch if you're interested in learning more about the early days of D&D.
Nice. And then we got we're just kind of saying gamifying, kind of awesome. Yeah. Also, just the with Player Scholar saying the cultural norms for crit fails and
You want to type it out?
I'll type it out in the chat.
Yep.
I'll just type in. This is the video name on YouTube. Interview. Jim Murphy. It's kind of a long video, and the audio is not great. But all of Matt Colville's channel, he multiple times talks about the olden days because he's an older white guy. AKA played a lot of D&D. Yeah. Go ahead though. You were saying something.
Oh no, the cultural norms of crit fails and nat 20s. It's part of what I really like about D&D. Because it's not in the rule books, but it also, I'm a sucker for narrative if you haven't guessed. So just having that extra game mechanic that opens up narrative. And that's not to say that you can't have narrative in combat, because plenty of narrative can come in combat. How you kill someone can eventually become a part of your character, like with the Adventure Zone. One of the characters was notorious for taking the arms of the people that he killed. Mostly like robotic things and like non-human things, but anything that had an arm, he would take it. To the point where he had a collection of arms that he used as a weapon at the end, and like that had nothing to do with like out of combat stuff. So, yeah. So.
I also think it comes out of like the sense that in a lot of ways, going back to the idea of simulation, D&D is like it's like a hero simulation. You want to have like these, like not all the time, but these great moments of success, but also balance them by the sometimes funny, sometimes narratively important, or just strange moments of failure.
I've got.
If you have any other questions, feel free to ask viewers.
It's funny because one of the questions was mechanics versus storytelling, and is there even a versus? When you're dictated by dice rolls and gameplay, how does that take away from the ability to give a narrative? If you have something in mind, but you're not good at thinking on your feet, and suddenly this awesome moment is taken away by like not even like a nat 1, but just say an 8. Because at least if you get a crit fail, you get to create some fun new storytelling thing. Like, for example, when you used Sova for the first time, she's like, yeah, she swipes and she's going to do this, and then you rolled like a 13. And it's like, it's not a 1, it's not, so there's not an extra thing, but
Just
you also
gotta
don't get to do the
run
thing. Yeah. So, I'm not sure how mechanics takes away or gives to narrative.
I think it's kind of tricky. I think Play Scholar's right. He says found that he really likes it when his character fails because it means his character grows. How do you feel about failing? When is it good or bad? I think failing is generally a good thing because because here's the thing is...
And when you're done, I have a thing to respond as well.
Nobody wants to succeed all the time, even though there's maybe some players out there who may think like, oh yeah, just being a badass and winning every fight, that's great. It's when you fail, it creates a great story moment, even if you feel like it would have been a better story moment if you had chopped off the wings of the dragon, but instead you fell off or whatever. And so I think that it's important not to get too attached to succeeding because the goal is to be having fun. The goal is to enjoy playing, and failure is part of that, and it adds to the story. And it makes the fact that there's a risk of failure always, and that there's a risk of death in D&D, and that your character can permanently die, is part of what makes the game so exciting and connects you more with your character. If you were playing a game like Grand Theft Auto, where your character dies and now you're back at the hospital, you don't feel as connected to your character because it's
when failure doesn't mean as much, right?
Yeah,
so
failure doesn't mean anything.
Jump off this and shoot that guy. Who cares?
Yeah. So it can suck as a player when you're failing, but I'll say on the flip side, it makes success so much more wonderful. So I just referenced a moment from our other campaign where a friend of my character died, and my character just went in and started wailing, and I was really trying to role play this moment of like her being in such fury and tears and just trying to wail on this person who's much higher level, and I just single-handedly just flurry of blows them to death, like over 3 turns where I hit like every attack, and like that would be an instance where like the dice really worked in my favor to make success feel so sweet. And if there wasn't a risk of failing there, success wouldn't have felt as sweet as it did. Like every roll was like, yes, but go ahead, Kelly.
I know that in the Powered by the Apocalypse games, for Monster of the Week, the only way you could level up is through failing your dice rolls. So it's like good in that moment when you succeed, because then you don't get fucked up. But then if you roll, low, you get to mark experience because you experience your failure, but you also fail in that moment. So I think that that's an interesting thing about that particular game style that hasn't come over to D&D, but I think it's both.
That character was a monk.
Yeah.
And also what I like about it is because
the rage was just the narrative. It wasn't. They weren't raging like barbarian. Go ahead.
Because we're not in a closed system like a video game. Nothing is supposed to happen. Like failure is not like, oh, I failed, and like there is no narrative progression.
Sorry.
There's like no narrative progression that's going to happen. It's not like that checkpoint that you just have to make. It's just what happens in the game. So failure is very much built into our experience of the game, which is not, I think, the same as like a video game, where a failure is just, okay, now I just have to go try this again. There isn't that do-over. There's just what happens. And
And I think that's part of it's something we haven't done very much, but I think it's a good reason why inspiration is in the game.
Yeah.
Because inspiration is basically there so that like when there's that awesome epic narrative moment that you really want to go right, you're able to say I'm gonna use like this very limited resource to make sure that at this moment it goes like I have a better chance of it going right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a good way that the game kind of just slightly tips the scales in your favor when it comes to trying to make those really cool narrative moments happen.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Oh, do we have
RPG LARP scholars in Europe talk about how it's hard to study lamps. LARP.
I mean, lamps. It's an enlightening study.
Yeah.
Sorry, I really have
We're on
to
the
do
ninth
that
floor.
one.
You gotta be careful.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Throw you out of the window.
I mean, my death would be quick.
I think Play Scholar, you're right. I think one of the hard things is because they only happen once.
Yeah.
I think a huge part of why it would be difficult to study is because with a piece of art, like I'm thinking about a film, it's like I can just keep rewatching this scene and like get it all down.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think that the study of a tabletop RPG is like not very akin to the kinds of study that would you normally think be conducive to that. So like you think like an English major would be very good at studying because it's a book, but it's not a book, right? Or something like that's kind of how I think about it.
And then also when we're talking about LARPs, or we talk about like outside.
I think he was using LARP more freely just to mean RPG games.
Okay.
But correct me if I'm wrong, Play Scholar.
Yeah, because I was gonna say if it's like the outdoors, what you typically.
Yeah, live action.
Oh, okay, never mind. Because if it was the outdoors one, you only get one perspective if it's a recorded event, whereas something in here, like we're literally recording our stream, so you get case studies, but not necessarily an overall.
And even with us having the visual component, like people are not seeing all of our dice rolls; they're only hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
So there is
up in the book.
there is something like inherently lost in translation.
Yeah.
But there's also things I think gained in translation, which is like
Mhm.
if you're just watching from home, I think you get more of a sense of the story as it progresses than the players. Like being a player or the DM, there's a lot of things you're juggling in those moments, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to remember everything, all your spells and stuff. And if you're doing a good job, you're not spending too long on your turn deciding what to do. So it's like, now it's my turn, I cast Guiding Bolt. And like so you lose the thought process behind and the gamification of rolling the dice, but you get more of a streamlined like, yes, Guiding Bolt happened, it hit, it didn't hit, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, like I had a weird experience today where I had to level up in the middle of everything.
I warned you.
No, you didn't. And that was I didn't know it was going to happen in the middle of like essentially combat. So I'm just like, oh crap, let me make sure I have everything ready.
Oh, we went over this a little bit last week, but did we want to kick back to this?
I'll just say one thing to regard to your question, Leo Voices, which is how would you use role-playing as an educational tool or in a learning environment. Failure is the most key thing to learning anything in life, because anytime you want to actually become an expert in something, it requires a lot of failure first before you get there. And so in my classrooms, for instance, failure is just part of the curriculum. There's revision is expected because you're going to fail, and the only way to improve is to take your failure and learn from it. Now that said, failure in an RPG is a little different because it's more incidental. Like you can fail at rolling a dice, you haven't done anything wrong per se, and so there's less of a lesson to learn, I suppose.
But there are making bad decisions.
Yes.
Like, and that's something
I try to crawl into the mouth of the dragon.
Yeah.
Like it's like
like any of that, like, or even just like, knocking on that door, was Franz taking a risk that he probably wasn't even thinking about as a risk. Like that could have been a very bad moment. Could have gone back into dorking. Could have been a bad moment potentially.
No, it worked out perfectly because it was my plan.
Okay.
And what's funny was like I tried to describe the cottage as like inconsequential as possible because I didn't want you to be like, hey, here's a breadcrumb trail to follow to this, key character. Because you could have gotten away without, like, you could have eventually figured out a way to go without talking to them or going inside. But back to failure, I always say successful failures is better than just success. Because you don't learn from success necessarily, but you learn from a successful failure.
And even if your character dies, which I guess is like the biggest failure potentially, but even then that's up to interpretation. Then you just know how to like think about your next character.
Yeah.
Like if Franz were to die next session and I wanted to create another arcane trickster, probably wouldn't. Maybe my spell selection would be different. Maybe I would choose a different subclass. Maybe I would no, I need to be beefier. I want to be an Eldritch Knight, which is similar enough, I guess. Or maybe I was so in love with magic, I want to be a warlock. I want to be a druid. I think you learn a lot through play, both success and failure, to learn about how you want to express yourself through the game.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you always have to be careful of, and it's like in D&D, is yes, you want to be really attached to your character, but you also gotta realize that they can die, and that's okay, and that's part of the game. And I just remember I was watching Matt Colville talk. He has a series called Running the Game. He was talking about how one of the characters died, and then one of the other players, the character who died was kind of mad, but he was a very experienced player, and another one of the players who was very inexperienced got so mad he left the table, and then Matt went to talk to him, and he was like, "Well, are we still gonna play with him?" And it's "Oh, duh, yes, of course we're still gonna keep playing." But yeah, we got another question.
Oh yeah. Before we get to that, I do want to say one thing.
Yeah.
That I think building on that to attaching it to education or pedagogy is getting students away, or even as educators getting ourselves away of what you write or what you produce is a precious object that you can't touch. So being able to have that attachment, being able to train yourself to think about revision as more than just small little grammatical or sentence structure tweaks, actually thinking about it as a revamping of the whole thing. And maybe that might be a little bit akin to re-rolling characters or thinking about that. But I like that question. I've never made a really bad question. I'm a really bad character. One that just didn't work for you or the group you were with. Yeah.
I have, and I tried to kill her off in so many brash decisions, and she just kept living. And I felt bad because the DM was trying really hard to try and give me freedom to change her around and this and that, and it just wasn't working. So yeah, there has been that, and I wish I had just I didn't want to ruin the vibe with the group and be oh, I'm just gonna come in as a completely different character. But I should have, because I was too attached to trying to make the character work to realize maybe not the best choice on my behalf.
But Play Scholar, you asked, have you ever made a really bad character? Yeah, we kind of answered that. What I will say is that it's 5:07, and you guys have great questions. That's why you should keep asking them next week, because if we answer all of them now, then you won't come back next week to ask more.
That is true. So I guess closing thought on that, does anyone want to answer that second half, or just call it a day?
I just want to add that because maybe I'll answer it more next week, but the idea of making a bad character, what makes a bad character, you just don't know how to play the character, maybe the character's personality doesn't vibe with the rest of the group, or maybe it's you rolled bad and your character literally is doing jack diddly squat. Which I think all of those are really interesting opportunities, so I think when you ask what's a really bad character, what exactly that might mean. There we go.
Let's save this for next week.
Yes,
I'm going to open up with this one. So thank you, Play Scholar, for coming up with a very good question.
And thank you for your questions as well, Leo C. Voices.
Awesome.
Or Leoc Voices. I don't know how you say it.
Leo C. Voices.
All right.
Okay. Well, tune in next week, same time. Thank you guys so much, and
peace
bye.
out.